Tell me when you're ready. Hello. Welcome to the Spaniard's Ghost. My name is Jib, and this is our new Savage Worlds Pirates game based in Pirates of the Spanish Main. As I said, I am Jib, and I am the GM, and we have players.
We do. My name is Gina. I don't have any idea what I'm playing yet, so this is going to be
We're
cool.
going to find out.
Yep.
That's what we're here for.
Yeah.
I'm Joey, and I also have absolutely no idea what I'm going to play. I don't know where I'm looking. Aha! Hi! Hello!
Joey's new at this.
Yes. Joey's very new
At the video podcast. The normal podcast, I'm good.
Just look at the face mic. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, face mics.
Hi, I'm Kurt, and I'm looking forward to this.
Sweet.
Hi, I'm Mary. I get to be a pirate.
Was today really Talk Like a Pirate?
No,
No,
it was yesterday.
was talking
It was
about
yesterday?
pirate.
Yeah.
24 hours
I was
late.
like, oh, we should have been today. But anyway,
It's all right.
so
it's all good.
I make no promises.
as I said, we are pirates on the Spanish Main, which is the Caribbean and the Atlantic Ocean.
Want to show them the pretty book?
Yeah, it's a lovely book.
You got your own.
Now, Pirates of the Spanish Main is a game unto itself. It has all of the Savage Worlds rules in it. However, they're also the old version of them. So we're going to use the Savage Worlds Deluxe rules with a few things from Pirates of the Spanish Main, and a few things we're going to toss in for fun. We'll find out.
Oh, no.
Okay? We are going to play pretty close to the rules as written for the most part. That said, given the slightest provocation to pick what is going to let you guys be awesome and cool in preference to a rule, I'm going to take you guys being awesome and cool every time.
Story trumps rules.
Exactly.
Cool beans.
So I know that Gina's played Savage Worlds a bit. You guys have played Savage Worlds, right?
Yep.
But Joey, you're new to Savage
I am
Worlds.
completely
So
new to Savage
we're going
Worlds.
to take just a couple of minutes. I want to talk about a few things about Savage
Taking
Worlds
your savage cherry.
because
Be gentle. Or don't. I mean, I don't know how this game works.
It's savage, so
it's
Promises.
there are D4s involved.
Oh my!
gonna be
Caltrops
that
of
great.
gaming.
But we're going to talk about a couple of things about how Savage Worlds works.
Okay.
Because they can be integral to the choices that you make about your character. And since we're making characters tonight. So,
Yeah.
anytime you want to do anything in Savage Worlds, okay, as I'm going to say with every game I ever run, don't worry about what your character can do. Worry about what you want to do. It's my job to figure out how to make that happen.
Generally speaking, good advice.
Okay? That said, if you say, I want to do it this way because I know I have this skill, that's also totally cool. I have no problem with that. But just because you don't have a high die in a particular skill does not mean you can't do it. Even if you don't have a die in a skill, you can probably still do it. Okay?
All right, cool.
Anytime you do anything in Savage Worlds, you're going to need 2 dice. You're going to need a trait die, which is going to match up with an attribute or a skill that you have. And then you're going to have a wild die, which is always a 6-sided die. And you're going to roll them together. And when you roll them together, you're going to take whichever one is higher.
You do not add them together.
Do not add them together. You will. Everyone does. And typically, you're looking for a 4 or better. If you get the maximum on a die, you get to roll it again and add that to
Wait, there's a
whatever.
D10 that does that?
And a D12.
Because I have the D20.
I had the D20 too. My sister got me
You now know what Gina's next set of dice are.
these. They might
She's
have more.
going to
This was a
want all
3
of
set.
them.
This was a 3 set that my sister got for me
Yeah.
last
Very
Christmas.
I'm currently on my 4th version of the D20 because if there's a
Yeah,
child
yeah.
within 20 feet, it's like a Kmart blue flashing.
Well, and also
It's like-
you can't replace the batteries. So if the batteries actually run out, then
It's like a bug zapper for children. They're
Yes.
just like, don't go to the light.
I can't help it.
Anyway, if you roll the maximum number on a die, that is referred to as the die exploding.
Okay.
And you get to roll it again and add them together. And that is open. You can just keep rolling and rolling and rolling and rolling and rolling.
Cool.
If you get, as I said, typically the number you're looking for is a 4. There are a couple of exceptions to that, and those are when you're trying to hit somebody or when you're trying to damage somebody, in which case those numbers are based on who you're trying to hit.
Okay.
If you get 4 above the target number, whatever it is, whether it's a 4 or something else, that is called a raise. And if you get a raise, that's a good thing. It usually means you get extra good effect.
Okay.
Okay? That's the die mechanic. That is the entirety of the die mechanic.
That's genius. It's so simple.
And the better you are at something, usually
Means a higher die.
type.
Okay.
So
Now, there is a common misconception that having a D4 in something is good because you're going to explode the die 25% of the time. However, the other 75% of the time, you're going to fail.
Yeah.
D6 is actually pretty
Actually,
spot on.
a D8 is the sweet spot.
Yeah.
A
Okay.
D8 is
D6s though.
a D6 is never
Not
bad.
bad. No.
Having a D6 in anything is not bad. Having a D4 is not bad. It's
and you
just
can still
Not.
there's just this misnomer about
Yeah.
Right.
If you aren't trained in a skill, then whatever you're
That's what I
rolling,
was
you
just
just
gonna
subtract
say.
2.
Yeah.
Right.
yeah.
Okay. I
And
got that.
usually there are going to be modifiers that are situational. Weather impacts things, and not that you guys would ever have to deal with
bananas.
weather
Okay.
being pirates or anything like
No,
that.
no. Or trying to do multiple things at the same time.
Or doing multiple things at the same time,
No,
or
no.
slippery decks, or all kinds of things. Anyway,
Don't you be talking about my slippery deck.
I know. I already had to listen to Mr. Guido today talking about engorged, something engorged with blood, something. And it wasn't what you
Oversharing.
would think. Yeah.
Mosquitoes?
No, I don't know. It had to do with iPhones
Gout?
or
so
batteries
iPhones
or
being engorged
something.
with blood.
I don't know.
I knew they were evil.
Right.
My
okay.
brain went to a different
So
place when I saw that.
here's the other really big thing you need to know about the mechanics for Savage Worlds,
Big set of cards.
and that is that when we do
Ooh.
initiative, you get a card.
Pirate cards.
And your card determines when you go.
Pretty.
Those are very nice.
So, like, for the first 3 sessions, I'm going to be distracted by staring at how pretty my card is.
I have other sets of cards, so I may change up from time to
Yeah.
time.
No,
but
I
brought
want
these
pirate
for.
cards. There's got to be pirate.
There's got to be
Oh, there
pirate
are.
cards.
I have 2 decks because of Kickstarters.
Sweet.
Wow.
So higher card goes first, and in the case of a tie, the suits go in reverse alphabetical order.
Okay.
So spades go before, hearts go before, diamonds go before clubs.
Or for those who are familiar with card playing, standard suit order.
Fair enough.
I have no idea.
So, obviously, in the case of what we've dealt here, the king would go first, the ace would go first, followed by the king, the 10, the 7, and the 4.
Okay.
Okay? You can, on your turn, go, I'm going to wait. And then after that, you can interrupt someone and go before them. And there's a trait test involved. You roll agility to see who goes first. Okay. And there is a special case. And it's one of my favorite things about
Because that means you get to
Savage
shuffle,
Worlds.
too.
Gina, are you in the chat?
yeah.
They can hear us fine?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Good. And of
Why
course-
were you thinking?
There was nothing coming through on these.
They're
so
hiding there.
That's why I bothered.
There it is.
That's why I took them out.
Sometimes you have to go.
Don't worry. I
like,
can hear you people. It's fine.
yes, I did that
In
motion.
in the deck are 2 jokers.
That's a cool joker.
If you yeah, he is, isn't he? If you get a joker, you get to go whenever you want. No trait test. You go whenever you want. Also, everything you do in that turn, you're at +2
Oh,
to do.
yes.
And when these come up, we're going to reshuffle the deck. And
Remember that that rule also applies if he gets the joke
Right. Also applies if I get the joke.
So
And that I
don't get too excited about it.
and I will not be the one dealing the cards.
Oh.
That will be the task that will rotate through you guys. Okay. There is another time that we will use the cards, and we'll talk about that when it comes up. Actually, there are a couple of other times when we'll use cards, but that's a core mechanic and very important. We get to my absolute favorite mechanical thing about Savage Worlds: bennies. At the start,
exploding dice.
at the start of the game, depending on some things about your character, everybody starts the game with 3 bennies. And a benny is currency that you can use to
Stay alive.
take control of fate. No.
In part.
Bad Mary. Bad Mary.
It's not bad, Mary. It's very
It's
true.
It's
one of the things.
She's centered very much in the older rules where
Yeah.
that was much more the case.
Yeah, in the older rules, they were pretty much
It is-
hit points.
It is.
It's what
No,
you choose.
it's not.
It was.
They're never hit points. They were never intended to be that.
It's what you choose them to be, which
Yes,
is
absolutely.
includes
What they are is your ability to
soaking.
grab a hold of fate
Yeah.
right this minute and say, I am rejecting your reality and I am substituting my own. Basically, you get to re-roll the dice.
Thank you,
Whatever
Adam
dice
Savage Worlds.
you
Yeah.
just, whatever just happened, you get to re-roll.
Is it still Vagit about it? Is it? Because I know it changed since I
You
played.
take the better of
You
the
take
two.
whichever roll is better.
No. Yeah, it's like how I remembered what soak was versus.
Oh, we'll
Like-
get to
Oh,
that.
yeah.
We'll get to
Yeah,
that later.
okay.
Yeah, we'll talk about what you're rolling then.
Okay.
The other thing that they do, and this is what Mary was referring to, is if I have just rolled an attack on you and they are going to do you harm, okay, you can say no. I reject that reality, and you spend a Benny, and you get to roll to soak that wound.
Okay.
Okay, you only have 3 wounds. Everybody only has 3 wounds. My big bad guys only have 3 wounds. Okay, so this is your way to alter reality and make it your own. Okay, I like to use them for more things than just soaking wounds. Let's say that your pirate is trying to open the chest that you guys just found, and it's locked.
Freezing.
And it's locked.
Dwarvish lockpick.
Do we not do phrasing anymore?
I do all the old things. Apparently, AF is also old.
What? When?
I don't know. I was told it was
it's old
old.
enough. It's now being used in billboard advertising.
If people in their late
Fine.
30s, 40s, and 50s are using it, that's why it's old.
Well, then no one should color their hair anymore because I've seen grandmas with the purple.
Well, that's everything old is new again.
I'm trying to convince my quilt ladies, actually. I'm trying
Okay.
to convince my quilt ladies.
Blue-haired
They're
old ladies,
Good
yeah.
sense for color, anyway.
Okay. I still like AF.
Everybody will also get one other Benny, and it'll be a different color than the ones for yourselves. And that is a Benny for you to award to any of your fellow players.
Okay.
It can be because they did something cool, something awesome, but I skip my train of thought for a second. If you're trying to open a lock, and you really, really want to open this lock, and you fail on your first attempt, spend a Benny and roll it again. Okay. I like to be pretty free with bennies because I think bennies are at their best, and the game is at its best when the bennies are flying up and down the table.
Yes.
I have a gigantic bag of them, and I want them to be flying up and down the table. I'm gonna have a big goblet sitting right here,
Yes.
and that's our Benny cup, and I want it to be full at the end of the night.
Goblet of fire.
Goblet of blood.
That's a vampire.
That's a different game, yeah.
Oh, it can be blood.
Baldery for
Okay.
everyone.
So that's the quick, this is how the game works.
Okay.
Okay. And the reason I wanted to talk about that for a
Don't feel
second.
badly if you absorbed like 25% of that, like me, because usually I learn by doing
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
You'll
So
pick it up
it'll-
as we
yeah,
go.
It'll be
It sounds
totally
easy
cool.
enough. Yeah. Once you just
It
do it a
is.
couple times,
Yep.
it becomes
Yep.
muscle memory.
100%.
Because some of those things impact your character. Okay? So I want to ask a question. Do you guys want to make characters first, or do we want to do some world building stuff first?
I would like to talk about the world before I
that'd be
plot my
helpful.
person in it.
Before,
I have a rough idea of the archetype I might
Yeah.
go with.
Ditto.
If it fits.
Yeah, I have two
a couple,
ideas that
yeah.
I'm going, but how I shape those either of those ideas
Sure.
will very much depend on what we're planning on doing.
That is
Exactly.
That is totally fair, and I dig it. So, the year is 1763. I'm going to decide that because
1763.
1763. It is the height of the golden age of piracy.
Now, are we allowed to be total nerds and go research the hell out of that, or would you prefer us to not spoil ourselves on history?
Rock yourself. Rock yourself
Because
out.
we will anyway.
Yeah.
I-
Okay. Well, Mr. ran a World War I game and told us to maybe not go look things up.
I also say, like,
Yeah,
this is
you
a
did.
storkism, but, like, don't let the facts get in the way of good storytelling.
Yeah.
So it's like, if, you know.
I'll try not to.
things things that are real and factual will show up in our game. These are things that are historical things that happened in during the pirate era. However, I may not use them in the same time or the same place or the same way that they actually occurred. And things that are totally ours are going to come up as well.
Cool.
Okay?
Sweet.
I thought about using what are called the gritty damage rules.
I know that's when you said we got 3 bennies. I was like, okay, that's fine. No, I'm not
Three
complaining.
bennies is standard.
Yeah. No,
Well,
but gritty is.
what the gritty rules mean is that you can't use
Yeah.
bennies to soak damage.
Oh.
Ooh.
Oh,
We had a question in the chat room from Jen Human who asked if this setting has the extra effort mechanic, and I don't even
effort.
I don't even know what that is.
Is that where if you describe it really well, you get a bonus?
extra effort mechanic?
I am ashamed to say this. I'm
It
not
says-
familiar with
oh,
the extra
I
effort
am not
mechanic.
either. Jen Human then goes on to say, because Hazelnut Mudslide said, like in Deadlands, you mean? He said in Savage Worlds Rifts, anyone can use extra effort. In Deadlands, you need the right edge to do it. So it might be a Rifts
Okay.
only thing, because I've never...
I'm gonna go with no, but I'm also gonna go back and reread it and see, and then
Yeah.
we'll see.
It probably won't come up tonight,
It's not going to come up tonight.
so you'll have 2 weeks to
Think about
research.
it. To
Yeah.
and we'll be
Cool.
able to.
Heavy Metal Jess also just made me laugh because she said AF is for losers, but then she said go big or go home. Which I believe has been around longer than AF. But
Yeah,
that's
that's
pretty-
vintage.
That's-
That's, you know.
Yes,
Yeah,
exactly.
that's
It's a
so
vintage
cool, it's
phrase.
back.
It's from
Yeah.
way back in the
Yeah.
80s.
Carol with that one. It's an antique.
Yeah. That was hilarious.
Oh my.
So, it is, as I said, it is the golden age of piracy.
Okay.
So, every day, ships set sail from ports all over Europe, heavy with people, bound for the New World, for the colonies, and then those ships return with treasures, gold, silver, wood,
Rum.
rum, all kinds of things.
Sugar.
And those ships crossing the Atlantic have storms, they may become becalmed, or they may run into you. And let us make no mistake about it. Okay? You are pirates. Okay? Now, that can mean a lot of things. So, I kind of wanted to ask at the outset, because there are four countries that primarily have ships plying the Atlantic Ocean. England, Spain, those are the big two, Portugal, and France.
So not so much the Dutch Dutch West India Company.
Also the Dutch.
Okay.
Actually, the Dutch are probably bigger than the French at this point in terms of shipping. So I and you guys need to discuss this amongst yourselves. Amongst yourselves. It's not my decision to make. As a crew, pirating the seas, do you have a particular enemy in terms of one of these countries? Like, do you always go after Spanish ships? Do you go after whatever ships are available, regardless? This is a decision that you guys need to make.
Did you already ask nationality-wise, or
I did not.
Okay.
But it could bear on what nationality you choose to make your character.
I kind of like the idea that we're whatever nationality we
Yeah.
want to be. Like, somebody could be ex-British Navy, somebody could be Spanish, somebody
Kind
could
of a
just be...
hodgepodge.
Could have been
Of,
press ganged. I mean,
Yeah,
Sure.
exactly.
Sure, that might or might not bear on the question at
thinking
hand.
of making my character Welsh, so I hate the English very much.
I was just thinking those French ships probably have good cheese, and I'm in a very ridiculous mood right now.
Oh,
Spanish also
a
would,
French
too.
accent.
I actually had the Spanish
They
one
kind
also.
of
Oh
yeah,
my God, I'm
got it from
stepping
the
on
people who
my
invented it.
mic.
Don't do that.
Yeah, no, I'm done. I'm sorry, my hair is like tentacly today because it's in the spirit of the game. So it keeps
Really?
So
touching.
I was going to say, if we
No,
release the
I know
Kraken,
the cracking of my hair. Yeah, which I don't know why I just was Eastern European. So
it's okay.
But yeah, it keeps touching my mic.
So,
I'm sorry.
and we can leave that as an open question to be answered
Okay.
and discovered through play.
Yeah, it's
I have no problem with that. I just
Yeah.
wanted to toss it on the table.
I would just throw out there that, yeah, exactly, like we might be able to meet each other when we come next time, but I would just, I kind of like the idea that we don't have to all be
The same
all be
nationality.
British or,
Yeah.
No, yeah.
Well, even if
That our
you want to
backstories
say
could be
that
whatever.
we are particularly interested in taking British ships, that doesn't mean that you can't be British
It's true.
No,
Yeah.
as a character.
Yeah. We could be very pissed
no,
off.
I'm
Being
not
Welsh,
saying that.
I am
Yeah.
British. I'm just not
Yeah.
English.
You're the true British. one of the true Brits.
It's true. They're Norman.
Yeah, they are, among other things.
I'm one of the true Britons.
Yeah,
I think I know who you're channeling right now.
really?
Yeah, Peter.
Really?
Clearly.
Welsh is
We'll
freaking
leave-
hard.
we'll leave
I
that
applaud
quote-
you if you could do that.
We'll leave that question open for the time being.
Well,
and
can
we'll-
we just start spitballing some stuff?
Sure, be my
Okay.
guest. Be my guest.
Because, what do you guys? I like the idea that we can be whoever, whatever we want.
Yeah, I like that
Okay.
idea too. I think
Cool.
that's
It's
a cool
definitely-
mechanic.
Multicultural crew.
Yeah, absolutely.
What accent do I think I can hold for an entire game
I
session?
know. Well, what's the fun?
Oh, I'm
in-
not worried about that.
Oh, see, I'm like, what's
If I
the
fall
fun
out,
in
doesn't
that?
matter.
Yeah, just like, let it roll, and then when it becomes Russian or
For me, it's
which
just
inevitably does.
if I'm trying to hold an accent that's in character, and then if I drop out, it's the idea is that's an intentional choice to then ask an out of character question.
that's
the
very cool.
reason why I try to hold an accent as a character. But
That's fair.
I also like the idea. So please, anybody's idea, but I like the idea that we're full on pirate. That the opportunities.
We're not privateers.
We're not
No.
privateers. If we have a mark from any particular government, it's because we've falsified that mark.
I like that idea.
Yeah,
It's a drawer of
Which one do we
marks.
have to show right now? Check the drawer.
yeah.
Well, no, it's like this is. What ship are they? Ooh, they're
Well,
much bigger than us. Run
yeah.
up the English colors.
Well, which is the first thing you do when you board another ship is you go get their
You get their
laws,
flag.
their maps, and their
Right, it's like they're flying English colors. They must be friendly.
Yeah.
Well, kinda.
So I kind of like that idea.
Yeah,
Just-
I mean, I have no qualms with that.
okay, cool.
I like it.
What about? I know we had talked on Slack about captaining up. Is there anybody who kind of wants to take that role, or do we want to have an NPC that we can all know and love?
I'm perfectly fine with an NPC captain. I'm also perfectly fine with a PC captain.
too.
I just don't want to be him.
Me too.
Yeah, I'm kind of in the same boat.
Me too.
No pun intended.
Right. And the concept I was playing with was not captain-like, so
Cool.
it sounds like NPC captain.
Cool.
Okay, sounds like we have an NPC captain.
Cool.
Now, we had also talked about
Quartermaster.
Yeah, so historical pirate ships were democracies. The captains were elected.
They're pseudo-democracies.
Yes. Okay. True. Yes.
And when we say elected, what that means is that the captain had to survive a vote of confidence.
yes, correct. That's absolutely yes.
It's not like it was not like a true democracy.
No, I Yes, thank you for clarifying that. But the captain was pretty much only in charge in terms of military maneuvers. The guy who wrangled the crew was the quartermaster.
That's true.
Who
And
was-
there are other people of great importance
Yes.
who have great influence on the crew.
Right, but I mean, the quartermaster was responsible for doling out pay. So,
Right.
and the captain didn't get any more than anybody else did.
Right.
So, does anybody want to be quartermaster? I don't. But
I don't know. Quartermaster is awesome. First mate exists on a certain size ship, right? But otherwise, you're going.
there are lots of
First
mates.
ship is the
Yeah.
person
for-
Like every
Okay.
post kind of had a
Yeah.
mate.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's essentially
The person who takes the wheel
assistant
when the
to
captain's
whatever
asleep.
they were. Yeah,
Right. And the
And-
I
first
guess
mate
I
was
meant in
typically
the
assistant to
sense
the
of-
captain.
Yeah,
right. First mate is
that's
assistant,
what I
but you
meant.
also have if you have a bosun, you have a bosun's mate. You have
Yeah.
a carpenter, you have
Oh no, I
carpenter's
know.
mates. You have
but on
Right.
a smaller ship, generally isn't
a smaller
quartermaster
ship-
is kind of the number two if
Yes.
you don't have the pirates. or
yes,
I'm
right.
sorry,
If
the
you didn't have a
captain's
first mate, then the quartermaster would be second in command.
Yeah.
Yes.
And a smaller ship has a smaller crew.
Right.
And we're going to talk about your ship in just a minute.
I can't imagine
Oh,
us having a
that,
crew of more than 30.
I
like,
forgot.
Total.
I forgot what Jen Human was asking about that skill, or but it's with a Benny you can add a D6 versus rerolling.
Okay.
But I
Oh, I've seen
Added
that.
Oh,
D6,
yeah, I saw that
so
in
it's
the risk
plus a
game, yeah.
D6 instead of.
I did that in
otherwise
instead
it's
of a reroll.
yeah.
Well, you're much more likely to succeed.
Yeah.
And then Vampire 54 is trying to be our buddy. Thanks for looking out for us.
Okay.
Saying, since everyone's a pirate, free boating skill, right?
We're going to talk about that. we will talk about that. Because
I guess it depends on whether we're newbies.
I
or
am not going to
experienced
start
pirates.
you at novice rank. Everybody's going to start with 25 experience points,
Ooh.
which is 5 raises, which makes you seasoned.
Right.
So we're
Basi-
extra salty.
Ooh.
Well, it means you've been on. Well, okay, it means you've been on the seas for a bit.
Salty.
Whether you've been on the account or not, being on the account is when you sign up to crew on a pirate ship.
Right.
That's what I mean when I say you're on the account. You may or may not have been on the account for very long.
You could have been
but you may have
on
been on-
board an actual Royal Navy
naval
ship.
ship.
Most
And then, for whatever reason, you joined the account.
right. Most pirates, most seafaring types of any sort, learned their skills in one of two places, either in the Navy or signed on to a merchant ship,
Or
or in more rare cases, signed on directly with a pirate ship. That's more rare.
like Shanghai or
Yeah, if they were press ganged or something
Yeah.
like that.
Could be press
some,
ganged.
some of their skills may have been learned on land. For instance, a ship's doctor.
for sure.
Who is often also the
Sawbones.
carpenter.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's reassuring.
interesting.
Well,
Interesting. Okay.
same skill set. What are you talking about?
Cutting.
Cutting stuff.
Suppose you're going to make a peg
Gita
leg.
wants
you
to
have
know
do a
if he
leg.
does help a player today, if that person would get extra XP.
To build the character.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'll tell you what I will do. If someone wants to do a help a player today, I will give that character 5 extra XP one time. One time. That's it.
All right, all right, Sir Guido. I know you
Yeah.
have like 50,000 beers.
Oh my God, he
that you
had
can
so many beers the
spend.
other. He just said he has tons. Well, you heard it, buddy.
Okay.
Remember, it's 150
Oh.
beers to help a player.
Oh, right on.
How many of them are clicking in?
I just got to help a player. Scratch 25 points. 30.
30 points.
30 points.
One
Awesome.
of the elegant things about this game, she could have 70 experience and be a legendary character, and you could be a novice character, and you can still function together.
Oh, yeah. No,
love it.
it is.
You could still beat her in a fight too, because
could
the
happen.
dice are.
Yeah, because she could have a
5
70
points.
XP
Mary.
librarian,
Right.
you know,
Woot.
and you could have a novice
Holy
swashbuckler.
buckets. We all have 5.
We all have
Oh.
five. Yay! We
That's
have 30
the
to start.
redemption. The redemption was faster.
You knew that was
than-
going to happen. You knew. Right?
Yeah. No,
Anyways,
you all.
that's cool.
Oh, sweet.
Thank you.
Once we
Thank
start
you.
playing, a help a player is worth a Benny.
Sweet.
Cool.
Yes. So we
Okay.
get an extra.
And then can we do the thing where well, I guess that's different because we can carry our bennies. Never mind.
Yeah.
I said
When we're playing, I want you to keep track of how many bennies you have because you're going to keep them from session to session.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Okay.
Mark it on the sheet.
If you're hoarding bennies, trust me, I will do things to you to make you give them.
Yeah. No, and again, like he said earlier, the game benefits when bennies are flying across the table.
Because bennies make amazing things happen.
Yes, they really do.
And Savage Worlds is a game designed to be cinematic, high adventure, lots of action. The phrasing in the game blurb is fast, furious, fun. And it does that.
cool.
Don't think Sam Spade, think Indiana Jones.
Got it.
So, okay, cool. We're going to come back to your guys' roles as we build your characters. What roles you guys want on the ship. I want to ask, is there a safe pirate port?
You mean
I
like
wanna
a
say
NASA?
yes.
I know, I want to
Like
say
a
yes too.
Tortuga.
Like a Nassau?
Like a
Or a
Tortuga.
Like a
something.
Tortuga. It's gonna be characterized more like Nassau
Okay.
in Black Sails than
Okay.
like Tortuga in Pirates of the Caribbean.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah.
I think it'd be cool if there was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
If nothing else, if we need to make serious
Actually,
repairs.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
do
And
we
it
want
doesn't
it?
mean that it couldn't.
Do we want it to be Nassau,
Um,
or do we need it, or do we want it to be
also.
more remote than that?
Nassau is Bahamas or Jamaica? I can't remember.
I believe the Bahamas.
That's Bahamas.
Okay. It's where my parents were supposed to go until Irma was under direct
Oh,
line
they're all
with
saying
their
Tortuga,
cruise
Tortuga,
Irma said, "Oh, I think not."
Tortuga.
There is totally an island of Tortuga.
There
Well,
is.
I think
There's
we
a
need
real
to do
island.
Tortuga.
Okay,
Tortuga,
then
'cause
Tortuga it
that's-
is.
Yes, the
And then Sergito said Tampa.
Tampa's not safe.
See, I was
know,
thinking
it-
St. Augustine, but
It could be in our. It could be in our world. I thought it was cool.
No, Tampa has.
I like
alligators.
Tortuga.
well, I mean, because Tampa, the Buccaneers,
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I
I didn't know Phil listened to this.
he doesn't.
and actually, Nassau is actually is fairly north
Yeah.
in the islands of the Caribbean.
Yes, I knew that.
Tortuga's a little bit farther south than that.
Oh, you know, it could be. It could be Guantanamo Bay,
Oh, I know. I was
south
thinking
side
about
of
that,
Cuba.
Too. I like Tortuga.
Yeah, I think we'll
Yeah.
go with Tortuga though. I like
All
it.
right, that's fair
I dig
enough.
it.
That's fair enough.
I dig it. Awesome.
Go
So,
to Gitmo.
so you have a safe port that you can go to, where you're not going to be arrested. But if you sail into Port Royal, it could be a bad day.
We have to pick the right flag.
You definitely want to pick the right
Yeah.
flag, and you definitely want your ship to not be recognized.
Port Royal or Port-au-Prince or
Yeah, Port Royal, Port-au-Prince,
Where's the
Santiago.
painting skill?
right, yeah, exactly. Could be under repair.
Santo Domingo. Any of those places
Heraldry.
could be very, very bad.
Cool.
Cool, awesome. So
We go into Trinidad. We meant to go into Tobago. Or we go to the island of Ted.
So, as I said, our game is kind of like if Black Sails and Pirates of the Caribbean had an illegal love child, it could be this game.
Eyeliner. All the eyeliner.
All the eyeliner ever, except that we're going to be leaning Black Sailsward a bit. Okay. With
I'll do the guy liner if you will.
oh, absolutely. Look who you're talking to.
Exactly. It wasn't much of a threat.
with
Awesome. I was
some
already
tiny
checking
little
out my
fantasy
pirate hat.
elements thrown in. But so you guys know,
Yeah.
they're going to be fantasy elements that you could totally explain in real world. Okay.
Okay, like
So-
mermaids.
there be
Right. There
And
be
krakens.
there
And
be
giant
legends of
krakens.
mermaids and
Yeah.
krakens and
Yep.
and
That's an
whatnot.
attractive looking manatee right there.
How you doing? Manatee. That's going to be my
Remember,
accent.
heifer used to be a term used to describe an attractive woman.
Okay.
And manatees are sea cows. So,
So
There you
A
go.
equals C.
right, exactly.
There you go. So,
By the transitive property.
alrighty. So, I think that gives us enough clarity on our world
Okay.
Okay.
for us to move on with some character ideas. So, I'd like to hear what people are thinking about for a character. If you have an archetype in mind, that's fine. That's cool. We can totally do that. If you have a skill set in mind, something you want to be good at, that's totally workable start point too. So
I keep looking at you guys because I know you have a little bit of an idea
Yeah.
that you were playing with. Both you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would love to hear it.
I was kind of thinking, it was a combination of flipping back and forth and going, I could combine the two, because I wasn't sure what size crew we were putting together. Ship cook or ship medic, because you really want somebody with healing skill
Yeah.
in this system. Especially if we're going to go a little more realistic.
That's
yeah,
gonna be a funny combo,
there is no
too.
magical healing.
Right.
Yeah, so you really want somebody with healing skill.
Yeah.
So I was contemplating between the two. Either way, it would
The
definitely
Killick could have, I mean, especially if the
Why
Killick,
not?
the
Yeah.
Killick had training as a butcher,
Yeah.
would have also a certain amount of surgical
That's
skill.
kinda
It,
awesome.
it does also mean I would probably lean away from being super good in hand to hand, but shooting is great. You don't have to roll that high for shooting.
True. True. And a blunderbuss will
I
hit the
know.
start,
If
the broadside
only your
of the
GM
man of war.
didn't know the rules.
No, but still,
okay, my
you got a
dice
target
like
number,
shooting better than
yeah.
hand to
That's fair.
hand.
You got a
But-
target
but-
number 4
Yeah, exactly.
versus
But a
Yeah.
blunderbuss will hit the start the broadside of a man of war. So
Yeah. If somebody else really wanted the healer type, the other thing I was considering was cannons.
cannoneer, nice.
Because,
gunner.
it's
Like yeah.
yeah.
I was I don't know. Forgive me because I was trying to chat also manage the chat. But did you tell the listeners basically that we had decided offline where there is no magic, so we don't have.
We
anybody-
have no
We have
magic.
no
Yeah,
magic.
yeah, we don't have magic.
He did say
Yeah.
that we may
Yes.
be encountering
magical
Things
types
that look
of-
magical.
Yeah.
well any sufficiently
Any
advanced
sufficiently advanced technology
Would be
is
indistinguishable.
indistinguishable from magic.
Exactly, right.
Or
But we
anything
won't- we
sufficiently
won't have
mysterious.
sorceresses
Right, exactly.
Is indistinguishable.
or
Mysterious,
No sea
mystical,
witches,
Yeah.
no
Yeah.
maelstrom
elven
summoners.
navigators.
Right.
Yeah, you're-
Right, no, we're all
Yeah.
human.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody's human.
Well, except for the French.
Well played.
So I was going down two possible avenues.
Okay.
I was looking at either carpenter or carpenter's maid or something like that, because it's handy to have someone who can fix the ship. And that's for wooden sailing vessels. Carpenter is is essentially your ship engineer. And so having a certain amount of boating and ship design and carpentry skills. The other way I was going was pilot or helmsman. So
These are
either I'm Scotty or Sulu.
I
Basically.
was totally. I was like Scotty and Bones.
No,
Yeah.
except
No,
I'm playing a
that's- I don't
Scotsman in
know
one of
why I
my
was
other
thinking
games,
of
so I'm
that.
not going to
Yeah.
play a Scotsman here.
Yeah.
So. But yeah, so those are the
Cool.
two avenues I'm sort of
Okay.
looking at the moment.
Cool.
I'm not sold on either one of them necessarily,
Okay.
but
Cool. Joey?
I was kind of looking at being like more of a face character, like more persuasion, more talky. Also kind of looking at swashbuckling, even going more hand to hand, kind of
Okay.
combining the two.
Nice.
Okay. I think we may have just found our quartermaster.
No, all right, yeah.
Because, that's an important thing because
Yeah.
in addition to, as Kurt was saying, the quartermaster gives out the pay, he's also the face of the crew.
Okay.
Well, and also manages all the inventory
and
yeah.
you and
But
if
you
you're
are-
the one
but you
assigning
are.
assigning
Yeah.
tasks,
You're the
you have to get
union
around.
rep.
You have to get
Yeah.
along with people.
That's
Yeah.
true.
Yeah.
Um,
Because they
and-
they can rebel against you,
Yeah.
too.
Right.
And part of the problem that I was running into when I was sort of sketching out ideas was I was like, okay, I have to put so many points into this. Off ship, I'm useless.
And that's kind of what I thought. And
Right,
I
yeah.
love playing those
Totally.
talky, persuasive characters.
Sweet.
So like,
You?
let's-
No.
I know, right? Shocking.
I
So, yeah.
would never have thought that
I got
about you, Joey. Never. Never.
a Gina for
Getting
first
him to
mate
shut up is
in
the
here.
problem.
I was trying to see if we had some
Hot kettle.
suggestions.
Yeah, I know.
Yay, Dave.
Cool. Gina, do you have something
Well,
cooking?
I don't know,
that's
because
jumping up at you?
I was trying to see if anybody in the chat room was had suggestions about stuff. I don't think I like to, but I end up playing. I apparently like playing facey characters without acknowledging that, because I end up
Yeah, you
playing
are.
facing.
You do.
I know.
They do
I
have.
always don't think I do, but I
Because
do.
you're good at
Yeah.
talking to
Did-
people.
Did you see the archetype suggestions in the book?
No, I hadn't looked at that recently.
Yeah,
Because I
page
picked this
thir-
book up like,
Page 13 has some.
and I
couple
like
things
playing.
listed.
I like I
Okay.
have a
Yeah, since you've got a copy.
yeah. Do you
but,
want to take a look?
But like you want to do a face
If you want.
character, but you want
I have
a
another
completely
copy
different
here.
feel. Like missionary is on the list.
Oh yeah.
You could be ship
Oh.
chaplain.
They're.
I do find her lack
No?
of faith disturbing.
No, when I purposely picked a hyper religious character for BBT for Blood, Blade, and Tusk, because I dislike playing
Okay, fair enough.
religious characters. So I mean, I could do that again, but
Let's see.
You could be black
I
sheep of
loved
a
that
noble
character
family.
though. I'm kind of in love with that character. But
Or I could just read the list in alphabetical order.
There
So
you go.
common folk, like you're just a person who like
Cool.
who ended up not getting killed by the pirates. Duelist, escaped slave, explorer, hunter, marine, which I guess you'd be a former marine, merchant or former merchant in this case, missionary,
Yeah.
native.
Piracy is just merchants by other names.
That's true,
Merchants
because
in it
we
for
would
themselves.
we would steal things and then possibly sell them.
That's
Yeah.
the idea, yeah.
Right.
Native,
Meaning
noble.
someone from the
You
region, yeah.
I think
Officer.
it logical that you go out and you take plunder,
I wonder.
Yeah.
and then you
Yeah.
go back to Tortuga
Oh,
and
sure.
sell it to
Our fence.
the
essentially.
establishment,
Right.
and in exchange for that, because they get a cut,
Right.
Yeah.
you get the safety of the port. They're not authorities to give you a hard time there, unless you break, pirate laws.
Heavy Metal just said man of war.
It's a type of ship.
Lots of It was
also a
probably
really cool
earlier
band.
when we were.
I will.
yeah,
I'm going to
Carry
tell you
on.
that you are not going to start the game with a man of war.
No.
Fuck you.
It'll be
No,
a
I'm joking.
frigate
Yeah.
at best.
Okay, so
A toddler
continuing-
scuffle.
Continuing down the list,
schooner.
pilot, which would be an option if he goes carpenter instead. Pirate, privateer, sailor, sea rover. Weapon
Business.
masters are mercenaries who specialize in being on ships. So you'd be kind of a mercenary the ship is hired because we all suck at fighting. Sounds like none of us have fighter concepts.
That doesn't necessarily mean you're going to suck at fighting.
No,
That's true.
and I was going to say my second go-to is loving to be hitty,
Yes.
because I like to be hitty.
Soldier,
Sometimes.
spy,
That's another thing I like to play sometimes.
surgeon, treasure hunter, or whaler.
A cannoneer, boom boom the first. That's pretty awesome.
The great grand aunt of your character in the Masks
Zoe
game
Hernandez.
of Zoe Hernandez.
That would be
may have an eye-
awesome. I have a bunch of people that say first mate and then cannoneer boom boom the first.
You could be the bosun, one responsible for maintaining discipline on the ship.
Oh,
Do you really want that job with us, though?
yes. Was there ever any doubt?
Careful, he might like it a little too much.
A courtesan with
Who talked?
You did.
Oh yeah.
You could be Amara.
I know.
Mm-hmm.
Or you could be Kaylee.
EPUs to prove your point.
Oh, shoot. Now I just want us to be like the Firefly crew.
I had that thought.
A topic of discussion just came up. So while you guys are thinking
Yeah.
about this, I want to talk about X card lines and veils.
Yeah.
Okay,
I was cool.
I will put an X card on the table when we're playing. If at any point something happens in the game and you're not comfortable with it, all you got to do is tap the card. I will not even ask why. We can talk about it later if you like. We will just close that scene and go on our way. Lines and veils. Lines are, we do not have this thing in the game. Does not exist. Period.
Pre-established.
Pre-established. This does not happen in the game. It can be something, if it comes up in the game, you're like, nope. Just all the nope. That's a line. and we'll deal. Okay. A veil is the thing can happen. We just don't want to see it. Okay. So
Happens off camera.
It's going to
Yeah.
if it's going to happen, it's going to happen off camera. I'm going to tell you right now. For me, anything to do with rape is a veil, and it's close
It's a
to being a
veil.
line.
Okay.
It's close to being a line.
No.
I'm not saying I'll never introduce something something involving rape as an element in the game, but it will be post hoc,
Yeah.
Right.
and it will be dealing with the ramifications in the aftermath.
I'm okay with that too, because I was actually going to bring this up earlier, that off camera, I mean, because it is kind of part of that world. But if it got to a point even off camera, or the context or the day you were having, I think we do we'll tap the Happy Jacks for our X card.
That's fine.
Because I totally get that. On certain days or certain contexts, stuff like that can feel creepy.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but I'm totally.
And I'm going to tell you right now, things like that are not going to play a big part in this game.
No,
That's
and-
not what this
and-
game's going to be
And
about.
I know all of you guys too, and I know no one would intentionally ever go to but sometimes there are triggers that
I
people
have a
have
big
that.
fat mouth, and I have almost no lines. So I'm not saying I have no lines. I just haven't found any
Can
yet.
I tell you something too that I think contextually would have to be is the whole people as cargo thing for me. That I realize that is a big part of the
Yeah, like that is not
time
something
frame.
as PCs we're going to support. We're just
Right.
not.
I gotcha, cool, because that's the way I feel about that too. Like it might get referenced in
It was almost certainly going to be referenced. The
Absolutely.
slave trade is still happening.
Yeah, I think I remember
No, I
reading
know.
in the thing you
Yeah.
sent that it was like it's at the tail end, like it's petering out. It's basically gone.
dude.
Well, part of
That
the problem.
shit still happens.
No.
So,
Well, but I mean,
But
as
I know
far
what
as
you
I'm
mean.
there.
I know
There are
what you
still
mean.
slave ships.
Yeah.
There are
Yeah.
still slave ships
We-
making their way across the Atlantic.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
the
1763.
that
America
is
doesn't
not-
exist yet as a
yeah.
country,
Yeah.
so there aren't
That
laws
is
against
not.
that.
1763.
Yeah.
For some reason, I wrote the wrong.
Yeah.
in my
That
brain.
is not going to be a thing in the
Cool.
game, unless something happens and you guys decide to make it a
Like
thing. In the
we
game.
try taking over a slave ship.
Yeah.
Well,
if our new
we-
hobby is
Yeah.
playing
If
slaves,
we ha- if we
I
happen
could
to-
totally see
if we
that.
happen-
Yeah.
That there's some jackhole
It
that's
is.
got, and we're like,
It'll be another jib game
well,
where
because-
everybody's going after slavers.
yeah.
wouldn't be the first time.
No, because
Exactly my point.
truly, one of our characters could have,
yeah, escape
had
slave
that.
is one of the options
Absolutely.
listed
Yeah.
there.
And I'm fine with that.
I'm apparently going to be a bosun.
Okay,
That's what
Yeah.
that got voted for higher
it
than
got
Boom.
voted. Yeah.
I will give you an
Boom,
example of a
Cannoneer.
character who I think probably was, if not was in fact the bosun, was about as close to the bosun on that ship as you could possibly find, and that would be Anne Bonny.
Oh my God. Can I want to date Anne Bonny. For reals, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
Weird-
maybe not the real one. I don't really know, but
Actually,
Black
but
Sails Anne Bonny.
She was apparently pretty hot in at least when she started.
Well, yeah, and
So-
that was the whole deal with her and Mary Reed, I think.
Yeah.
Had
They were, yeah.
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 They were, to use the nomenclature of the time, they were companions.
yes. Yeah.
An example of a spy
With some Jack Rackham.
would have been Long John Silver.
Yeah.
Yes,
the start of Black Sails.
absolutely.
Well, and also
and
quartermaster
and
at
in
one point in Black Sails. So
also in Treasure Island, he was totally a spy. I mean,
Yeah. So, long story short, if you haven't watched Black Sails, what is wrong with you? Get to watch it.
some of it.
oh my God, I
Watched
love
some
Black
of it.
Sails.
I've watched an even smaller portion of it because I'll wander through the room when he's watching it.
And I'm
So
really only
good.
watching
Did
it
you watch
when
it
my
or
roommate.
not?
I haven't watched it
Oh
yet.
my God,
where
it's
am
so
I?
good.
Where am I able to find it? Because
It's
I
on
have to watch it apparently.
Hulu.
It's on Hulu.
Yeah.
Thank God I have
It's like
Hulu.
the only freaking place you could get it though, because
But
other than if you
most of the
watched it.
services, there's
You would think
exclusivity.
so, but like, or
Some of them, yeah. Just
Although
to,
if anybody does DVDs, I have them all but DVDs he does that.
Right.
I'll
Okay.
go back
any
to
case,
this on
in
Slack.
any case,
yeah.
Cool.
There is one thing. It's not technically a line or a veil for me, but I'll start getting twitchy if the setting starts being too sexist.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
a very good topic to bring up.
Yeah, it's not quite a line or a veil thing. It's more like
because
She'll get rebellious.
Yeah,
sexism was a
it's-
real thing
Oh,
during
yeah.
the 18th century.
It's more like I
it
get
is
bleed.
not a real thing at our table.
okay.
Neither are gender roles, neither are sexual preferences, because yours truly don't care.
Yeah, that's the part where, like, I kind of like having a dash of the modern sort of via the Pirates of the Caribbean, where
Well,
And
pirates
we all know we're
kinda
going to
care
South
less
talk a little
anyway.
bit,
Right.
Because we're
already outlaws.
yeah.
I mean,
Well, and we like to get a little bit silly sometimes. I think,
Yeah.
like,
And there were things that weren't defined. There were things
Yeah.
that were a lot more okay, actually.
Yeah.
We are actually, before they started really enforcing homosexuality as a sin in England, for example.
as a crime.
Yeah, it's like it was a crime, but they didn't really start enforcing it till a writer pissed off someone. And then all of a
Oscar
sudden-
Wilde.
Yeah.
I thought it was
My boo.
pre that. Right?
I was illegal before that. It's
Yeah.
just they decided that was grounds for going after him, and all of
Yeah.
a sudden it was more of a
No,
thing.
but I'm with you.
So-
I think I would like to see more modern conventionality with, like,
Definitely.
whatever
Absolutely.
your gender preference or non-binary
I mean-
or sexual preference, whatever.
Personally, I've been
Yeah.
described as disturbingly straight, but yeah, I know, right? But I,
I know
Adding
what
that
that
like to the
mustache
lexicon.
on.
what do I care?
Yeah.
You got the sweet stash going now, though.
for now.
Yeah. Ooh, you could do the Van Dyke. Then you could have the full-on, like, the, I don't know. That's
Tried
probably
to do that.
100
That's
years
kinda
earlier.
what-
The
the problem
Van
is
Dyke.
this is all blonde. So
Yeah.
Alrighty.
I'm with you.
Totally,
Yeah.
totally
That was
agree.
a long-
Absolutely agree.
and before she gets squigged out, she will just push back.
Good.
Yeah.
I will tell you will never
Good
have
for
anything
you.
to push back against because
Right.
it,
No, and
because
if you do,
it's
because
alien. That's alien to my brain.
context-
And I
Yeah.
get this confused. Overly evocative description of gore.
It's visuals I have a problem
Visuals,
with.
okay, all right.
So it's like every once in a while, if somebody really works at it, they might hit a button, but I'm not going to be the first one to hit it at that point,
Okay, all right.
probably.
Okay.
Okay. It's visual.
Okay.
If you hand me a
I-
picture of something, I'll be like, oh, no, no.
Oh, okay.
I try to be evocative in the way I describe things, but I also try to be a little bit on the poetic side about it. So
I can read a 2-page description of somebody being whipped and be fine, but somebody hands me a picture of the aftermath, and I'm like, So
fair.
that's where my
that's fair. I will keep that in mind.
Yeah.
Thank you. Okay, so I gave you a sheet called the Savage Worlds Character Creation Checklist.
Yes.
Yes.
This is designed to help guide you through making a character.
Hooray!
There is a point on here that I wanted to confirm.
Uh huh.
According to the book, we're all human.
You're all human.
Humans get a free edge at character creation.
Yep.
Okay, I just wanted to
Sweet.
make sure that you were honoring
Totes.
that. Okay.
Totes. So what you want to do, as I said, thanks to Sergito and others, Sergito,
Yeah.
all of you have 30 XP instead of 25.
Hooray!
What you want to do, the way you want to do this is you want to build your character and not worry about that. Okay. Build your character at 0 experience and then do the raises. That's the way the game works.
Got it.
So
it really does.
Yeah.
And does buying hindrances get you more good things, or do you just do hindrances for flavor?
no, you buy hindrances
Okay.
and you buy hindrances because they give you points to create your character.
Oh, there it is. Okay.
Okay. You pick hindrances because you want these things to come up in the game. And rest assured, they're going to.
I have
if
2
you-
hindrances already in
If
there.
you tell me your hindrance is I'm allergic to strawberries, you can bet your
Ooh.
ass there are going to be strawberries in this game.
Hazelnut Mudslide said Black Sails is now on Amazon also. So
Ah,
that's cool.
sweet. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Two-
The
two
I-
best
yes.
username. Like,
What-
props for that username. I like
Right?
it.
Hazelnut
Yeah.
Mudslide? Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah,
It's a cool
the
username.
best.
Well, mudslides have frangelico, which have hazelnuts in them.
Don't judge.
No,
we don't judge
it's
you.
redundant.
We
That's
don't
all. Or just extra. Maybe that's what it is.
Yeah. It's very.
So
Very hazelnut.
to talk about hindrances and edges for a second. Hindrances are things, they're disadvantages. They're things that cause your character problems.
Possibly other characters' problems.
Might cause other characters problems. And as I said, they are things you want to see in the game. And there is a specific list of them. You can find them, the combined list in both of the books,
Okay.
to find things that are of interest to you.
Okay.
Examples
table of contents
of
in
them.
front.
It's
Code
also
of
pretty
honor.
close to the front.
Code of
There
honor
we
is a
go.
hindrance. You have a code of honor. You have to specify what the code is, and it will come back to bite you at some point, because you will be faced with a choice of, I could do the thing that's going to be beneficial to me and profitable to me, or I can follow my code of honor. Okay, and I will tell you just so you know, if you play the hindrance, I will give you a Benny.
Guido wants to be a ship cook. He redeemed and by an NPC.
Done.
Nice.
Guido, are you okay? Because Mary, you might not have caught this. Mary was going to be a ship's cook, Sawbones. So do you want to be like the other, like her?
You want to be my
The
backup?
cook mate?
Yeah. So that way, when she's busy sawing off
mate.
our arms and legs and
Yes.
and putting patches on our eyes and stuff.
Killick
You can
is
decide how to
the,
season the limbs.
the,
Yeah.
the nautical term for
Wait,
the
wrong game.
The,
So
the
let
cook
us
on board
know,
ship is a
Killick.
Oh.
And also, did he give us a name for his NPC?
He said, "Sure." Yes, he sure did. I took a picture, so I'll send it to you.
Okay, cool.
I'll redeem it
Awesome.
in a second. But
Um,
yeah, so
certain,
he is.
certain terms will come up.
He
Killick
is
is the cook on board ship.
Guido. his name is Guido
boatswain
Garcia
is pronounced bosun.
Alcantar. Ship's cook. There you go.
For some reason.
There's the.
Ship's cook.
It's like
Ship's
um,
Can you see
You
my
see
phone that
a
I'm trying to
rowing
shove in your
team?
face?
Yeah.
and
Got
the
it.
guy with the
Okay.
yelling.
But
That's a
he's
coxswain,
a fat man
which
who
is,
loves his own food more than anything.
which is also
so
is
he probably
coxswain.
bugs you about how you season
C-O-X
stuff.
S-W-A-I-N.
He
Yeah,
says he's the
coxswain.
prep cook.
Got it. He's the cook's mate.
The sous chef.
Killick's mate. For aft.
Right on. Cool.
Port, starboard.
oh, he's going to be awesome.
So awesome. That is very, very cool. Thank you, Sir Guido.
Yeah.
So those are hindrances.
Okay.
You can have one major hindrance and two minor hindrances. Major, minor. If it's major, it's going to impact. It's going to be more impactful. It's going to come up more often. Simple as that. You can choose to other examples. You can have one arm, one leg, one eye.
Those are all major.
Those are all major. You can have an enemy. Enemies are always fun
That's one I was actually looking at, actually.
because enemies are just like, oh, good, I have an
I was
NPC to
just
play
thinking
with.
this is like the perfect game because the Bustin' Chops was saying that they needed to buy an NPC too, and I'm like, this is going to be the perfect game to buy an NPC in because you could totally be like,
We've got a
I
whole
am the
crew
Kevin
to populate.
girl boy. I
Yeah.
am the know powder monkey.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm
Okay.
the crow's nest dude.
Edges
There's
are.
a term for that actually.
You've played
Probably.
D&D.
Yeah, they're like,
Right?
I think they're like
I know
feats,
there
yeah.
is. I just
Okay.
can't
kind of
remember
like
what it is.
feats.
Yeah.
You keep touching that mic.
They
I was like,
usually
I'm like,
give-
Gina, your hair.
they edges almost always give some kind of mechanical benefit as well,
Okay.
whereas hindrances do not always have a mechanical problem associated with them, which is totally cool. So that's something for you to think about.
If you want to look,
The
this
place
is-
to start is with your attributes. To start in the top left corner of the sheet, you have.
I always start with my flaws.
I do
And then
too.
go
That's why
for the
I'm totally
character.
just put the page on hindrances and shoved it towards Joey.
that informs the character,
too.
and then you build
I
the
totally
stats
agree.
You know
of the
what?
character around
I am
that.
totally
Yeah,
fine with that, and I
so-
totally agree because I do the same thing.
Yeah.
I'm always like, so
Yeah.
what are my hindrances?
May I have some more?
Yeah, so
of
just
that
because
fine
you go.
wine,
it's
sir?
gonna
There you go.
it,
Okay.
You want-
it
I
works
know,
out
like-
for
I'll
me
pour.
anyway.
I won't move.
Let me know when.
Jib,
Thank you.
because it's me.
I appreciate.
I
so
automatically
much.
am taking the
Good.
hindrance big mouth.
Thank you.
I'll
And
take
help
a bit
yourself,
more.
please.
Well, you would have had it anyway because it's you.
So I might as well get the points
Might as
for
well
it.
take it.
Lean in.
Right,
Why
exactly.
not
Lean in.
Lean in.
I'm just playing to my disadvantage.
Yep.
As you do.
As Blood
What is
Swallow,
this?
I'm sorry, Blood Sparrow used to say back in the day. Just playing to my disadvantage. Damn it, Hayes.
What is this drink that I'm reading about here?
Oh, by the way, another
hazelnut
movie to
mudslide.
watch as like inspiration for this: Master Commander Falls Far Side of the World.
Also a great
Oh
film.
yeah.
Yeah.
And also, it just helps you learn the terminology.
It does. It really does.
If you need, I will bring my copy. I have the
And it-
extended
Me
edition
too.
with all the
And it has
special.
Paul Bettany in it.
Has Paul Bettany in it and Russell Crowe and
Well, I'll watch it. It's by
Billy
Russell Crowe.
Boyd
Yeah.
and
Oh, you love Billy Boyd.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Um,
Darcy? James Darcy? Is he in that?
I don't know.
I thought he was.
I don't remember.
Great
Sorry.
film. Should watch
Great,
it.
yeah,
It's
great.
fantastic.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I mean, it'll also help you sort of absorb the terminology.
Okay.
And then there's the special features disc on it, which is like the boot camp that they went through for like 5 weeks
Oh.
before shooting. which it really helped them really get into the character, and they built a copy of the ship.
Sergito says.
Which one?
Cutthroat
Fantastic.
Island.
Oh, also a good film.
Is that Gina Davis?
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
I don't remember hosting that movie. I know I've seen the cover of that movie.
It's like I can't remember his name. I just remember they took his scalp for the map. I don't remember his name. Muppet Treasure Island is best pirate movie though.
Without a doubt, anything Muppets is best for anything.
Right. I think too. Chat room. If you have, there's the forum thread for ship names.
Yes.
And I
Yes.
heard there's already some really great ship names, and we might throw some out
A
there
lot
too.
of Spanish ones, because I think they thought that because the name of the game was the Spaniard's Ghost,
Yeah.
that we were going to be automatically playing a
Yeah.
Spanish ship.
We're
But
going to.
I think that's
We'll be
okay
talking
too, though,
about
because
the
a lot of
Spaniard's
times
Ghost as we go forward.
Yeah. Well, and a lot of times
Exactly.
you get
Acquire
a ship.
a Oh,
yeah,
You
sure,
know,
of course.
Yeah.
And also,
So-
we don't know what our captain is. Maybe our
Yeah.
captain is Spanish.
That's
Yeah.
absolutely
There's
true.
good
Well-
options.
So I mean, our ship could be the Maria. I mean, we don't
Yeah.
know yet.
I am going
Yeah.
to. I'm going to inject a little bit of GM fiat here.
It's not Bodie McBoatface.
No, it's not.
I thought somebody was
because
I'd
because
veto
I
that.
have so much love in my heart for this person. I just have no choice. Our captain is Captain Black.
Oh,
All right.
well
yes.
done.
Okay.
Okay.
Well done. Yes.
Yeah.
That's
Bill,
awesome.
you're
Yes.
our captain.
Yay!
Nice.
We miss
For
you.
those who
I know, I'm
who
gonna
don't
cry.
quite understand, Bill Roper's fair name
Yeah.
is Captain
Cheers.
Black.
To Captain Black.
To Captain Black.
Captain Black.
Captain Black.
Hey Kurt, the joke's not funny when you explain it.
But now I won't be able to be mean to Captain Black. Okay.
Yeah,
Oh,
you
I can.
Okay.
Joey can. He's in a
Because I
band
love
with
Bill.
him.
I thought somebody was telling us the name of our ship should be the Matthew Modine, but I was incorrect.
I don't hate that though.
Mary did also find this random ship name generator.
Which I
I
am
saw
going to
that.
use extensively to name ships as we go
as
forward.
we go,
in the game.
yeah, right, exactly. D4 and 2D20.
That was just a random Facebook find because
That
it
was
was like a
awesome.
pirate day.
I love
Yeah,
it.
Right.
of course. I mean, you could have, for instance, the Whispering Mutineer.
Yeah.
Just to pick
frickin',
two randomly off the sheet.
Was it Teach's Queen Anne's Revenge? Is like
Queen Anne's Revenge? That was
the frickin'
Edward Teach
best
Blackbeard.
name.
Yeah, it's Blackbeard's ship.
Yeah.
Okay,
Well,
so
one of his
if I'm
ships, because
taking
Yes.
he actually should have styled
should
himself
that,
Commodore.
is there a
Well,
knowledge
he had a
thing or something I should be
Apparently
hitting
the
with that?
last
If
one,
the
'cause
cook
he-
and the
That was his
farmer?
flagship.
Yeah.
His flagship was Queen Anne's Revenge.
Because like I know some versions of
Well,
this have
let me ask you a
professions,
question. Are you a good cook?
Well, if I
Mary
got
is a very good cook. I just had to put that out there.
and I might be inspired to cook in character and bring treats to the game.
Okay.
These
You
things
guys.
happen.
Then yeah, there's knowledge cooking.
Knowledge cooking, all right. Because
Or-
also,
You
if
can
there's a
have knowledge
backup
anything.
cook, if I'm bad at it, I don't get to stay the main cook.
Right. Well, hard biscuits and grog every day.
So would people prefer me to have to play the carpenter to be able to fix the ship, or to play the helmsman pilot and have the navigation skills and everything like that? Or do we want to leave the navigation up to an NPC who is
I think all navigations, piloting and boating are separate. Is piloting would be steering, boating is the other stuff? How are you breaking that down?
We're actually going to use
navigation would be a knowledge.
the list of skills on that sheet, because these sheets are a little old.
Okay.
So I would go to the list of skills in the book,
And it lists boating as
and this
Practical
is one
skills,
of this is one of the places where I'm going to exercise an option
Sure.
in the game, because there are two skills, climbing and swimming, that are both strength based, and one of the options is to roll them into one skill called athletics, and we're going to do that.
oh good.
Okay.
So climbing goes away, and swimming goes away.
And they both become athletics.
Yup.
That might be a useful thing to have on a ship.
There were amazing number of sailors up to present day who can't swim, couldn't swim, because it gave them all the more inspiration to not fall off the ship.
Okay.
That's choice.
In the modern Navy, that's not an option because there's a
No, I'm
swimming-
talking merchants.
Yeah.
I'm not talking modern Navy. Mike Rowe had this great thing when he was on deadliest catch ship, and
Gotcha.
it was the ship was pitching back and forth, and the waves are crashing over the bow and everything, and he makes his way into the wheelhouse, and he asks the captain jokingly, he says, "You ever heard of OSHA?" And the captain says, "OSHA? Ocean. My job isn't to keep you safe. My job is to get you rich." At that point, Mike Rowe's entire focus was on safety for himself.
Well, as you do.
You're in the Bering Strait.
Hey,
the water's-
taunt is an
and the-
actual skill.
Yes, it
Hell
is.
yeah.
Absolutely, it
Yes,
is.
it is.
And you can use it in combat.
Oh yeah.
Okay, I know what I want for combat. Hey, getting them shaken is the first step to killing them.
Exactly.
It's absolutely true. Yeah.
Well,
Taunt doesn't shake them, but yeah.
Yeah, it should.
yeah, it does.
Oh,
Yeah.
it does? Oh,
Yeah.
my
Yeah.
mistake. My
Yeah,
mistake.
taunt is you shake them. You can't damage
Taunt
them.
and
You can hurt their
intimidate
feelings.
you can both use in combat.
Oh yeah, you can also do a trick in combat.
Yes.
Right. Tricks are something I'm unfamiliar with regards to, because there's a mechanical aspect.
There's a
to it that I'm
mechanical
not
aspect to a
familiar
trick.
with.
The Inferno is One-Eyed Willie's ship, and you all forgot the Goonies for shame.
I didn't
That's what-
forget.
No, that's what Hazelnut Mudslide is saying. I
I
was
didn't
trying to
forget, I
take
didn't like the movie.
pictures of the,
I
and
actually
everyone
haven't seen
gave you
it.
a cheers
It's
in the
before your time.
in the chat room, Bale, because we all miss you.
Oh.
I know. Captain Black.
Captain Black.
Captain. I'm looking for hindrances. Have
Go
you been
for it.
looking?
I think
Cool.
I need a
think I
third
know what I
hindrance. I've got two. I need a second minor.
You can always fill it in a
Yeah.
in a little bit. You don't have to.
Are you gonna have one leg? Or
No.
one
No, I'm going to
eye.
be physically intact,
Oh damn.
at least at the start of game.
Yeah, this is true. I kind of want an enemy.
I'm
I will
definitely
say,
taking enemy.
as
Like,
is
Are you?
evident by the game
Yeah.
that I was just in last night, I am not opposed to character death, at least with regards to myself.
Oh my god.
I was absolutely certain that
Fucking
my character
paladins.
was going to die last night, that I rolled up a new character just
oh,
in case.
dude.
Paladin
Because
decided
I-
to challenge the Aboleth when the rest of us were not going to.
The rest of the party had...
Paladin? No.
Yes. The rest of the party had struck a deal with an Aboleth, and my Dragonborn Paladin said, "You just pissed me off," and swung his hammer at him. And we all survived. Miraculous.
So you're Paladins of Gryffindor then?
Arrogant's always a good one too.
Paladin.
Arrogant big mouth is always good.
I already took
Or
Big Mouth.
overconfident.
I already took Big Mouth.
Yeah.
It's
Um,
typecasting much.
naive,
I-
naive and curious
Lean
are always good.
in.
Are always fun too.
Curious.
Oh, God.
Cautious.
Yeah, I'm taking Big Mouth and Trouble Magnet.
Oh my god. Curious is like the freaking
Because
best.
that's just a gift.
Curious is,
to
oh,
the
is that a
GM.
plot hook? I'll bite it.
Yeah.
Right, exactly.
It's very helpful.
Curious is awesome. I don't think I'm going to take it this time, but it's
Curious
fun
is
not
one I
to.
take.
Yeah. The downside to
Often
Curious
enough.
is occasionally that means we're going to go hunting bear.
Yes. Or the time people
Is that
are
a
trying
red
to
herring?
be
Let
sneaky,
me get my fish
and
out.
then the curious,
out here on the ocean.
and the curious character is like, no,
Oh, no, sure, we
sneaky,
have
I
bearfish.
want to poke that giant red button.
You know, if we go far enough north, we'll find them.
The natural the natural home of goblins is the sea, right? That's how you get guildwins.
Best knowledge
Bad.
fail ever. No, best knowledge fail ever. It still haunts
It
that
was years
GM.
ago.
Ooh.
Which one of those is major?
Oh, the Trouble Magnet is major. Big Mouth is minor.
Okay.
I think I'm going.
I'm thinking of taking a minor phobia.
Oh.
Cool.
Ooh, awesome.
2.
I'm
Don't
not
know
sure
yet?
yet.
Okay.
I thought
I
about
could
it.
go with acrophobia and just not want to go to the crow's nest,
Could.
or not want to climb the rigging at all.
Or
But
if you really wanted to be entertaining, you could.
hydrophobia?
Hydrophobia?
No. No, I'm not taking hydrophobia.
Ooh.
Fear the ocean.
I'll take dendrophobia before I
acro-
take hydrophobia.
Acrophobia could be an issue if you want to be the craftsman, the repair person.
Yeah, exactly.
Which-
Well, I haven't actually. I'm still working it out, but I haven't actually decided whether I
Habit.
want to take the
Habit's good.
carpenter or the pilot yet.
Yeah, carpenter's
because where I've gotten so far works for both. So,
Yeah.
Yeah, that looks shiny.
Right.
Okay.
This game could be called edges and hindrances for
Although
me.
I would have to,
Just-
I would have
that's
to boost
like
my
my-
spirit if I was going to be the pilot. My
habit.
spirit is currently a D4, and I would definitely
So
want to hire
curious is
spirit
my
for the
major,
pilot.
since I noticed you're writing those down.
Spirit.
Spirit is your ability to mentally withstand
And my two
psychological
minors
pressures.
are
Okay.
pacifist and bad
and
eyes.
running through.
you wear
Steering
glasses?
the ship through
Yeah.
a combat,
otherwise
or
it would probably be
avoiding
a major
hazardous.
flaw.
Because spectacles did
getting
exist.
shaken
Yeah.
is a
So
really
yeah,
bad situation.
I mean, just
to
the
be
way that
in,
the description's
as
written, even
the
it's
entire
like, yeah,
ship
you
is
get
literally in your
glasses.
hands.
Okay, that makes sense.
So let me ask
I
you a
would wanna
question
hire
about your
spirit for that.
pacifism.
Okay.
Oh, that was
Is it you totally abhor violence, can't deal with violence, won't have any part in violence, or is it you won't initiate violence,
That's major.
but you would defend yourself or someone you cared about?
I will defend myself. I will also argue against killing for no reason.
Fair. That's fine.
So
I
Lilith
have-
or
Yeah.
I have no problem whatsoever with pacifist being in play. I just want to understand what the frame of that is.
Yeah. No, I will defend myself, preferably to knock them out, not kill them. It ties into the medical healer thing, I think. It's trying to stick to the oaths as a doctor.
Fair enough.
The Socratic method.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
So, I was just going to say, Soliloquies 4 said proficient in one of those accordion things.
Constantina.
Yeah.
Oh,
I was like, that'd be awesome. Yeah, who's going to be our balladeer?
If you want it actually acted out, not me.
Well, we do have singers at the table, so
I suppose.
You do indeed.
I think my hindrances, at least right now, unless they change, my major hindrance is going to be enemy. And I'm going to go minor hindrances, loyal, and vow.
okay. So we've got two we need to talk. We've actually got three we need to talk about.
Awesome.
We're going to start with loyal.
Okay.
What does that mean?
Loyal means I'm not going to, as long as someone's on my crew, I'm not going to betray them. My word is solid. I'm not going to backstep anybody on my crew. The minute you do something to get off my crew, all bets are off.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, so that's where that
All right.
that line is.
And what is your vow?
My vow, I want to work on incorporating into the backstory work for the character.
That's fine.
So
Cool.
it's
That's
there. I just
fine.
have to finagle.
We can put your enemy in the same.
Yeah,
in the same
exactly.
thing.
I have an idea for a backstory. I just want to see how everything plays out first and see if I can make it work.
Shiny.
Cool.
That is awesome. Very cool. And let's see. So on the boat, you're the
Quartermaster.
quartermaster.
Yep.
That's right.
Okay, I'm starting to look at edges, which means I've just realized with this system, if I put a 1 in something, that's a D4.
Yep.
All right. So there's a whole lot of the stuff I do not qualify for.
So before I do, for me, having done hindrances, the next thing I do is attributes.
Okay.
Because edges sometimes require attributes,
Yeah.
and edges sometimes affect attributes. Although you typically, when they affect an attribute, they'll give you a +2 on something.
Okay.
Let's see. So I need hindrances from Gina, if you have them.
No, I wrote like 8 down.
Okay.
I'm working on something. Yeah.
want
No,
me
I
to-
love hindrances.
On
Like, I know you
characteristic
can write
points,
more than
you
one, but they
started
just
a
don't
D4
count
and you're
after.
buying up from
Yeah.
that,
Right.
though, right?
Yes. At character creation, you started a D4.
So if I put in 1, it would
Started
be a
a D4.
D6.
You
or
put in
two.
1. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And
Making
you
sure
have-
I got
you
that
have
right.
find this
5
for you because
points
it'll
to
be
spend
easy.
on that. So you can raise everything to a D6.
So where was our
You
hindrance?
can
So we're gonna
raise one thing. You
We start with
cannot
an
raise
edge,
anything
yeah.
at character
Yeah,
creation
it's an
higher than
extra
a 10.
edge.
Okay.
So if you
Oh,
super
I didn't
easy
realize
character
that. I
creation, but
My
I'm
haven't.
trying to find
My
the
rule.
page.
Okay, fair enough. I haven't, but
Yeah.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
List.
My rule.
Wait, did I pass up the?
The highest I
that's
have
what I was
anything at is a
looking for.
D10. So
There we go.
Oh, the
Yeah. So if
thing.
you want to
No.
just kind of.
figure, just
Yeah,
kinda
and
go
that
through it quick.
way you're that doesn't cost you any of those 30 points.
Right, that's all the 5
Yeah,
points
so
we
that
have
way
here.
you
Yeah.
can
leaning
build-
more towards
Yeah, cool.
towards
Okay, cool.
Carpenter.
Cool,
Sweet.
but
Than
please feel
pilot.
free.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Yeah.
The way that's going to work is I will figure out who I will stat out the other major people. The pilot, the navigator, the what else would we
You
need? The
have
gunner.
Navigator is essentially sailing master.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have
And Captain Black.
Right.
I will stat out all those people, but any die roll for them is going to be made by one of you.
okay.
Okay?
Jib likes to not roll dice.
No. I'm
If you know,
fine.
he's passing the blame.
No.
Exactly.
I'm fine with rolling dice. Okay?
Ooh, we got another.
My dice are programmed to be against you.
So if it's a member of the crew, we want that to be with us.
Got it.
Okay? So they don't roll dice for you.
By the way, I don't know if you've heard this.
Oh.
Don't let Stork anywhere
Oh,
near
no,
your
I've
dice.
heard.
Okay.
No, I had to have mine blessed when I played Mission Imbartable.
Oh my god.
Because
yeah.
they were very close to him.
Right.
We have another NPC.
Stork is not allowed to look to the southeast
I'm super excited.
from his house.
People, they hear us talking about this.
No, but
And
you don't
they
understand.
Okay.
You don't
I was
understand.
getting ready to play a game one day. Stork walks in wearing a red T-shirt with the cover from the
Red
red
Box
box
logo, yeah.
on it.
I remember that
And I was
one.
like, "Cool, Stork, I dig your shirt." I couldn't roll for shit the whole goddamn day.
Hey, I had Stork
Luck.
tell me to use different dice once in a game.
So,
So it can happen to anybody.
I played in I've played in several of the Freak Show games. I played in
Yeah.
one of the Freak Show playtests,
Mm-hmm.
and at that playtest, Dave and Stork provided dice for everyone. They gave tiny little pumpkin jack-o'-lantern
oh
trick or treat,
yeah, you and I played that
things.
game together.
and they had
Yeah.
a set of orange polyhedral dice in them.
Yo.
And because it was Savage Worlds, and I saw Stork handing them out, which means he touched all of them.
Yeah.
And you're just like,
No.
oh god.
Okay.
We have another NPC already. I'm
Wow,
super excited.
sweet. Who
yeah,
got-
no,
very
these
full
guys are
boat.
going to totally
Who's the new
round
NPC?
out.
Who's the new NPC?
I'm so going to slaughter this name, Ardacamarian.
Let me see.
Ardacamarian.
Yeah,
Right?
Ardacamarian.
Ardacamarian would like to be Halsey Rigger Young, able-bodied seaman. Because we had didn't we name a dude on a pirate game like able?
So
We had
able-bodied.
an able seaman.
Yeah,
funny thing-
able-bodied seaman preferring to work aloft as a rigger.
yeah,
Sweet.
That's
so
awesome.
someone who runs the ropes.
So
yeah.
Rigger Young.
Funny thing about
Awesome.
what constitutes the difference between a seaman and an able seaman.
Yeah.
When you signed up to be on the ship, they asked you
That's what, I was
what
looking
your
for.
position was, what you were signing up for, and if you weren't signing up for a specific like carpenter or something, if you were signing up to just be, you had the choice of saying seaman or able seaman. The assumption was if you were an able seaman, you had experience, and if you just said seaman, then you had no experience.
I had
But-
no idea. That's cool.
And able seaman
Oh.
got paid more,
Yeah.
but it was the quartermaster's job to dole out the pay, and if the able seaman had lied, then they would be demoted and probably
And that's when the bosun with the cat o' nine tails comes in. Damn, really?
It wasn't considered a lashable offense. It was just because the whole point, the difference was you got paid more.
Yeah.
So
But they would have lied on their application.
they would have lied on
So
their
that's
application. They
grounds
were
for
padding their
termination.
resume, essentially
Yeah.
what it was they were doing. If they weren't actually experienced. If they were, then great,
Yeah.
cool. But so the bosun would, or not the bosun, the quartermaster would keep track and not and it's like, you really don't know what the hell you're doing, and so I'm docking your pay, and they would often get docked all of it.
Oh. Yeah, that would not be good.
There are some fates worse than a cat of nine tails.
Yeah, no, that's
6
true.
months at sea, and you got put into port with no money.
Alrighty.
Yeah, that would not be
The
good.
ladies
that's-
are not going to like you very much.
That's no
Are
bueno.
you, you're still kind of weighing your options?
I'm thinking more along the carpenter line.
Okay.
Okay.
Because I am a carpenter. I build things. It's what I do
It's fair cop.
in my spare time. So.
Okay. Excellent.
I know.
By the time the GM is smiling, it's already too late.
I'm smiling when fun things are happening. So just so you know.
You signed up for the game. It's too late.
Exactly.
Hey, so do we get boating for free at like a D6?
And a D6.
I don't know. Just saying. All you can
well,
do is ask, right?
I am going
Worst you can say
to.
no.
I am going to
Right.
base that on the following question: semen or able semen?
Well,
Oh.
what's the better one? Able, right? Of course I am. I can't be a bosun if I'm not an able seaman.
Okay,
That's a good point.
I'm assuming able.
I'm the quartermaster.
Yeah,
It doesn't
right?
matter what I say.
There you go.
Well put.
Thank you.
Well put.
Yeah.
Able?
No.
Are you using masks tactics on
No.
us?
I am.
I knew it.
No. I signed up as seaman, not able seaman.
Okay.
But as carpenter's mate.
Okay. Cool. Able or not?
I think she's learned her way around by now. So yes.
Okay. Then D6 in boating, D4 in boating.
Okay.
That's all we had to do is say yes.
Oh no, there's another aspect to it.
Wait, so
of
you
course there
were an
is.
able seaman, or you?
Yeah.
You are. She is an able
You're a
seaman.
D6. I'm a D6, D4, D4.
No, he pointed at
No.
me and said D4.
D4 is
Okay.
on this side, D6
But
is on this
she's an
side.
able now.
Did you say able?
Yeah, she did.
Yeah, I did.
Oh, D6. Okay.
Yeah.
The thing is that
Okay, what do we have to do?
Yeah, what is this?
Damn it.
if boating rolls come up, and they will come up a lot,
No.
Can't imagine what you mean.
Man.
if you fail a certain number of them, there could be ramifications.
Ah.
Sure.
By the way, there are
We have
some
another one.
professional edges which might relate to the office you took on the ship.
Yes.
You bet.
Important things to look up.
You bet.
Um,
I have wine opener at D8.
good job,
Good.
son.
Don't scrimp on that.
Hey,
So since somebody wanted pilot is listed.
Yeah, and that's why I'm wondering.
All right, I'm going to poll
Page
the
41.
audience, and
Okay.
I'm asking for suggestions
Here you go,
from the
listeners.
from
Chat
the
room.
players and from the chat room.
Okay.
I want suggestions as to what my phobia should be,
Oh.
and I will pick from this. I will pick from the selected list. I will, the offered list. So I want one idea from each of you.
That's funny. Somebody who's a he in this room was saying anal semen. But just saying, it's Happy Jack's RPG podcast.
I'm going to leave that one
It's
alone.
too easy. It's too easy.
So are
Here you
you.
go, my friend.
Yeah, well,
Well, we have been at sea for 3 months.
I'm a lonely man, Tevya.
That is more than 2 drinks.
Let's see.
Just spitballing for a phobia. Just gonna want to see what you can do with it. Corsets.
A phobia of corsets. Ooh, okay. I kind of like that one.
They're constricting. They break bones.
There is actually a
They're a
legitimate
torture device.
There is a legitimate
Not if it fits correctly.
Right.
because now I will
And
pull
we
up.
are in the time period where it is designed as a support and a back brace more than a, oh God, what happened
and
to your
they are
ability to carry babies.
whalebone, which
Right.
means there's more give to them because it's not actually bone; it's baleen.
Or it's reeds.
The good ones are baleen.
Yeah. Cheap ones are not.
But even a cheap one is likely to be better fitted than most of what you buy these days in the store.
Fear of rats. Wait. Okay, it started with, oh my goodness, sorry, way
rats.
back here.
Pandora's box.
Spider phobia, storms.
Oh.
Yeah.
Fear of storms, okay.
Crustaceans. Fish. Birds. Now you know what I'm doing. I'm doing the thrilling
Thank you, Sadie
adventure
Doyle.
hour. Yeah.
Ichthyophobia?
Birds. Fear of insects. Seagulls.
Fear of
Storms.
seagulls.
Totally. We got a second on the
fear of
storms.
seagulls. Fear of albatross.
Yeah, there it is.
Fear of rats. I will say spiders. Fear of jellyfish. Phobia dolphins. That has nothing to do with
They're
it.
too playful.
How about your favorite? Triskaidekaphobia.
Triskaidekaphobia, fear of number 13.
Rats.
My new favorite is arachibutyrophobia.
have no idea what
Why?
that is.
That is the fear of peanut butter sticking to the roof of your mouth.
Wow.
I don't think that one's setting appropriate.
Arctic Kumarian also pointed out every ship has rats.
Not the sinking ones.
Let's see. Fear of drowning.
Okay, that's not a phobia.
Although
That's a
somebody said
legitimate-
it's healthy to be.
Phobias
yeah.
are irrational fears.
Yeah, fear of drowning is common sense.
Alcohol. Fear
I
of
like
alcohol.
drowning.
Fear of citrus, scurvy man.
Okay, now my name's Mark.
I kind of like.
We have a friend who in college got scurvy
Really?
in L.A. County.
Coffee is not a meal.
Coffee is not a meal, and ramen is not a and ramen and coffee for the
No,
span
it
of a
wasn't
year.
ramen. It
No,
was peanut butter.
It was peanut butter. Yeah, it was basically starving college student. Basically lived on peanut butter and coffee for a year, and he started having problems. And one of his friends says, that what you're describing
gums were
kind of sounds
bleeding
like a vitamin deficiency. And so you should really go to the hospital. And so he went to the hospital, and the doctor looked at him, and it was a teaching hospital. He says, "Hold on a second." He went back and got like every student. He said, "You need to come see this because you'll never see it again."
Right? Because
He
it's
had
not
scurvy
it's not the freaking
in the
19th century.
1990s.
Yeah. I think it should be
right.
totally storms or rats.
Within 5 miles of a place called Orange County.
Storms or rats.
Water everywhere.
Storms or rats.
You have 3 minutes to have finished your character at novice level.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, I got that. I got
Okay.
that. I'm spending
That's
XP.
not happening.
Like
I'm getting
I have
ideas.
attributes and I have hindrances.
I also, I'm multitasking. But no, I think it should totally be storms or rats because then it will totally come into play and we can totally poke at you.
Because every time we send you down to the bilge,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yup. Rats. Why did it have to be rats?
There's a combat edge called Bilge Rat, by the way,
yeah.
which is just awesome. I can't take it
Sorry.
after I
Oh, no,
moved
you're
my
good,
stats
you're
around
good.
for the
I just
things I
wanna
really
start looking
wanted.
at,
Oh well.
edges.
By the
Oh, I
way,
know,
there's also
edges.
an
So
edge called
those hindrances that you
Cannoneer.
bought,
Mm-hmm.
they give you points to buy things.
Yes.
I will tell you what I do with those points. I buy an attribute increase and an edge.
Okay.
That's what I do with them.
You can do anything except you can only buy an attribute increase after character creation 1 time per rank.
Okay.
Yes.
So just good to know that. But otherwise, you can pretty much do whatever you need to or want to.
All right, I can't visualize this anymore.
so
I need to
I'll
actually
do
start
one
filling it over here.
attribute.
I know, I'm like scribbling all
Addition.
over mine.
For my hindrances, and I'll add
Okay,
a 2nd
I'm-
edge.
Well, it's once you start
So
buying
we get-
skills, your attribute matters, and
Yes.
going back and forth is just screwing
Yeah.
me up. So
Yep.
Okay, I'm going with brontophobia, which is fear of storms.
I didn't know it was
And
called that. That's
specifically,
awesome.
I have thephobialist.com up here.
Fantastic.
nerd.
Where do you think I learned about arachibutyrophobia?
Hey, and that's the other. I was thinking about this earlier when I was looking at the hindrances, but obviously lots of people are illiterate. But so if we,
But lots of people are.
I thought about
Yeah.
it, and then I went, "No, wait, I'm a trained doctor."
I know.
Yeah.
I just,
you learn by doing.
yeah.
I mean,
Well,
technically
there were-
possible.
There were illiterate surgeons. They learned from pictures and books. There were rarely illiterate physicians. It was the
Okay.
great difference between surgeons and physicians.
Cool.
Surgeons probably started as butchers or
You say you're a
veterinarians.
barber surgeon.
Basically, yeah, that's essentially what it is.
Wait, actually,
Think,
I just realized
think,
guts is still a thing,
Dr.
right?
Quinn, Medicine Woman.
Yeah.
Guts is still a thing, right?
No.
No.
Okay.
Guts
But
is
I
a
just
spiritual.
realized I was looking at
Yes.
this list and went, "Wait a minute."
Yes. Guts is not a thing. Guts
Okay.
is not a skill
Guts
in this game.
is just spirit.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I thought, and I was like, Okay, so in that case, I have a point to move. I'm going to cross you out so I don't go back to that. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. What do I want to be better at? Oh, wait, I know what I want to be better at. You're going to go right there.
Eamon's excited because he said now that means storms will be a common thing.
Well, it's a
Yay.
minor hindrance. It's not a major hindrance. So I just want to bring
and
that to your attention.
there's-
We
Right,
could
there's-
work on making it a major.
There's not a mechanical impact of that,
Right.
but I assume that if a storm comes up, you're going to deal with that appropriately.
Holy crap.
Yeah. I mean, it's related to a fear
Well,
of loud noises.
To me, that's kind of how you get bennies too. It's like playing your character.
Yes.
And when I see
Not
you
just
do something
making
about
funny
it,
jokes.
you know, that where you're obviously leaning hindrance-ward,
Yeah.
I'm more likely to actually go down below decks during a storm.
sure.
You know, just try to get away, get it isolated from it, if at all possible. So,
Have you
assuming we're on ship, if we're
Holy crap.
you know,
Have you met-
on shore, it's different.
Heavy Metal just says large iguanas are gross and terrifying, but delicious.
Alrighty then.
I did not even think.
I totally believe that because
Whoa.
alligator is pretty damn good.
That's insane.
I mean, it's a little tough.
Holy
but
crap.
It depends on how it's prepared, but it's about the consistency of pork.
We have more ship meats. I'm so
Sweet.
excited. Yeah, I got to take pictures because I'm
This is a
redeeming
really
them.
good game for
Oh, it
creating
totally
NPCs
is.
for. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
We have an entire crew to populate.
Yeah.
Not just an entire crew. We got people in Tortuga to
Yeah.
do.
Oh, yeah.
And we've got personality traits in here too, so I'm making sure to take pictures. We have
Sweet.
Soliloquies 4 is Papa Sandoval, Spanish Balador Bard, to bring cheer and bravery to the
Is that
shipmates
Jim?
in trying times. I don't know.
Oh,
Papa
shit.
Sandoval. I wonder.
Sandoval.
I wonder.
Probably is.
And then the Bustin' Chops is Finn the Sloshed.
Amy.
That's
What?
amazing. Finn
Finn
the
the
Sloshed.
Finn Sloshed.
Finn the Sloshed,
Finn the
wise yet troublesome sailor with a near permanent residence in the brig. These guys are amazing.
Bane of the bosun.
Amazing.
If my parry stat is non-existent, or if my fighting stat is non-existent, does that mean my parry is 1? 2. Okay.
It's
Because your minimum.
it's half of fighting plus 2.
Okay, because it's like it's a D4 minus 2. Does that mean it's a 1? So it's 2. Okay, you're that
Your
generous.
your D4, half of D4 is 2.
Okay.
Finn the Sloshed is hilarious too. That's
Plus
so
2.
funny.
Well, do you have any fighting skill?
No, it's
Oh,
not.
then, yeah, we
it's
did
not
0
Jim.
plus 2.
It's
0
it's
plus 2,
Christian.
so your parry is 2. Your parry is 2.
Because it's half
Oh,
your fighting
plus 2 half fighting.
Yeah.
Got it, got it, got
Half
it.
fighting plus 2.
I can't read.
That would be difficult considering what you do.
Playing on the internet all day. And
We need a cabin
soap.
boy someday. A cabin boy.
Joey?
I've already
No.
won Cabin Boy.
no pressure.
Captain Black.
Do.
See, we made all.
I am Captain Black.
We made
Captain
all
Black.
our
I know.
we made all our Cabin Boys merch sales.
So we're doing the fame thing.
Yes, we
Okay.
are doing the fame thing.
Cool.
Fame matters in this game.
Okay.
My fame is
So we
starting
start-
at 0.
At 0.
You start
Or
at
it's
0
based-
unless you take
Okay.
edges or hindrances to affect
Okay.
that.
I'm looking
Right.
on my fancy Pirates of the Spanish
Or
Main
your XP changes it, I suppose.
ship.
Good.
So just so I'm clear, if I wanted to change one of my skills up to a D8, it's 2 points. So I would go 15 to 13. Correct?
When you an attribute or a skill.
A skill, I'm sorry.
A skill, you have to spend a point to buy it,
Okay.
and a point
Fame 0.
that gets you a D4.
Okay.
To raise it to a D6 is another point. To raise it to a D8 is another point.
Okay.
Unless each skill is related to a stat.
Well, are you
Right.
spending skill points? Or are
Skills.
You, skill,
Yes.
You're just
Okay.
spending skill points.
Yeah.
Then yeah.
Attributes are done. My attributes
the
are done.
point that Kurt was about to make is if you have a D6 in the attribute that it's associated with, to raise it to a D8 from a 6 to an 8, it's 2 points.
Got it. Got it.
Oh, is that during character build?
Uh huh.
Okay, now I have to double check again.
Yeah.
God damn it. Okay, boating is linked to what?
Boating is smarts,
Smarts?
I think.
Okay, I'm good.
Well, we got the boating for free. You
You got a
Oh,
D4.
that's
in
true.
got
I
the
got that
D6
for
in voting for
I got
free.
that for
Right, but if you have a D6 in smarts, to raise it to a D8 from a D6
Would
to
be
a D8 is still 2 points.
Right.
It's just that first one you got for free.
Actually, almost everything's a D6. I don't think anything I picked is strength based, so it's a pretty good chance I'm not going to need to worry about that.
Okay.
All right. Because most of my stuff is a D6 right now. And healing is linked to smarts, right?
It is.
All right.
Okay.
8.
And although I don't typically do this because it's going to be relevant to you because of that skill, I don't typically use the golden hour rule because I typically don't care. Because in most of the games I run, there's either magical healing or there's high-tech healing or something like that. But not in this game.
Yeah,
so
in this
game the golden hour is going to matter.
Okay.
Oh, this time it will matter. Okay.
Yes.
This time it will matter.
No, that makes sense for the setting. I also took the healer edge because I was like, where the hell is it? It's got to be in
Oh,
the book.
yeah, it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a good one to take.
Oh, no, I can't do that yet.
I wanted
there's
to
so many
see.
skills.
But,
I know, and
with
there's
XP
more
it
in
might be
here.
When it's not 15 points, I'm like, oh, 15 points. I have so many options. Like, no.
I know,
shit.
right?
Sweet.
Not as much as you might think.
Yeah.
So
You didn't put any points in athletics.
You're right, I didn't.
Okay. I just was pointing that out.
To begin with, because to begin with, and this is why I'm only a seaman, not an able seaman, this is my first time on the ship. I'm landlubber
Sweet.
who's joined a ship.
But you're not taking the landlubber flaw?
I am not taking the landlubber flaw.
Okay, you're not that bad then.
No.
So for
But I may be able to buy that athletics up with XP.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
May
Oh,
be
yeah.
able
You
to,
can buy a new
yeah.
skill. You can totally buy a new skill. Absolutely.
Sorry.
you probably already said this as well, but navigating, is that going to be like a knowledge navigation? Or
Yeah,
are you,
according to this, it is.
okay,
Yeah.
that's what I thought.
It's
Okay.
knowledge navigation.
Otherwise, we're looking at piloting?
Boating.
Right.
It is boating. Okay.
Well, there's also
What
the
would
piloting
you-
skill,
yeah.
but it's
The
piloting.
description of the boating
Yeah.
skill, let me pull it up.
Yeah.
Oh,
and there's
languages.
boating in here as well.
We're in the real world.
Yeah.
Do we need to buy languages?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You get,
You
Besides
get
our
your native language for
English.
free.
Yeah.
Which
not according to this.
you can speak your native language because
According
it's
to
stupid
this,
if you
according
can't.
to this, you have to spend. You would get a certain number of points to buy languages, and you have to buy your initial language.
Oh, well,
but
those-
you get,
it's a
you
separate-
get,
it's a
you're
separate-
guaranteed at least 2 points. I think.
Right. It's a
No,
separate.
I
It's a
thought this
separate
said-
pool of points than your skill points.
Yes, it is.
It's a separate pool of points.
Yes.
Okay, that's
And it's
that was my
I believe you get
It's your smarts die divided by 2. I think.
your smarts die divided by 2 is what I
I'm
believe
double
correct.
checking.
And again, that is going to be relevant.
And assuming you are literate, if you have a language, you can speak, read, and
You
write
can
it.
always, if it helps you too, at the end of
that's-
each little.
Unless you
According
took
to
the
the book.
illiterate hindrance, which
the
is
what I'm
what you
saying.
did.
Yeah,
any of
that's
the
what I'm saying,
edges,
is-
they do a
Like a-
listy list.
That's actually very helpful.
Yeah, and then you can always go back and see. Yeah.
exactly what it does.
Exactly.
That's super helpful. Thank
Cool.
you.
Of course. That's where my little munchkin
is slow.
bookmark is in there.
I don't know why my iPad is so slow.
Actually, that suits. I think taking knowledge science would make sense for this character.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there a list of knowledges, or is it just kind of
No, it's
actually,
pull it out of the air
there's
and
a list of
knowledge,
suggestions.
whatever you want.
Okay.
There's a list of suggestions on page 19 of the pirate book.
Oh, which is here.
And
Feel free.
basically,
Thank you.
the way it
Yeah.
works is I will frame the answer to match the the framing of the skill
Okay.
of the knowledge that you have. So, as an example, if you said I have knowledge science, I'm going to give you more generalized information than if you said I have knowledge chemistry. Okay, but if the question is biological, you're going to take penalties
Yeah.
to make
Here
a
we go.
knowledge roll
Okay.
on it.
But I might also be like, I have knowledge healing. I have a biological question.
all right.
Which, if it applies to the human body, you're probably on safe ground.
Yeah.
If you're trying to understand the biology of a monitor lizard,
This part's the spleen.
then it's going to be a little more.
You only say that because you don't know what it means.
No,
What
it's
it does.
ham.
Okay. All right. So languages. Since the Pirates RPG is about fun, most characters speak several languages at the start of the game. This cuts out any tedious problems with communication between all the various nationalities, yet still allows the GM to use a language as a barrier.
Okay.
A treasure map, for instance, may be written in Latin or Greek.
I'm actually considering taking Latin.
Your hero knows a number of languages equal to half his smarts die.
Okay.
Your hero must use up one language buying his native tongue.
Okay.
Any permanent increase in your smarts during play also gains you additional languages. List all your known languages on your character sheet, blah, 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 blah. Languages to select from: Aztec, Carib Indian, Creole, divided up into Dutch, English, French, Portuguese, and Spanish. Dutch, English. iPad shut off.
That's my favorite language. What page were you on?
16. It was going in order, so I'd probably gotten to French.
To have
Let's see
Muchos
here.
skills.
Dutch, English, French,
I
Greek,
know.
Latin, Mayan, Portuguese, and Spanish, rather than list a bunch of specific things.
Rather than list dozens of individual native Indian dialects, Creole is used, because that's what a Creole is, if I understand
It's a polyglot.
correctly.
Yep.
Well, no,
It's
Creole-
two languages squished together that haven't quite differentiated themselves enough to be their own
It's
language
at
yet.
least
Yes.
2 languages.
Yes, correct. Right.
Trade tongue. They're
but,
trade
but
tongues.
it's polyglot describes us who speak more than one language.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
English went through Creole phases every time they got invaded.
Yes.
And then it settled into being English again.
As opposed to a pidgin, which is a language that is starting to borrow words from another language, if I remember correctly. No?
No, actually, pidgin is more like a trade tongue where you kind of take a word from here and a word from here and simplified grammar.
Oh, okay.
And you probably wave your hands a lot.
Okay.
Cool.
Sorry, linguistics is cool.
No,
Right? No,
I'm
it
a fan.
is.
You actually took a class in it. I didn't.
I'm a fan.
I did as well.
Okay,
fun.
so
I wish I'd taken more than one, but
I know you guys. Some you guys are still working on your characters at novice level, but I want to talk about advances for a second
Okay.
because we have about 15 minutes.
Okay.
We can run a little over. I don't mind, but I don't want to run too terribly over.
Sure.
No, totally.
So when you take an advance, you can do several things. You can raise an attribute once per rank. And if you look at the XP, it has XP and rank, and then there's a slot outside it for your advances. Like the first 2, 5 and 10 are novice. You could raise an attribute once for those 2 advances. Then in seasoned, you can do it once. And that's going to be all for you guys. You can take as many edges as you like in advances, with the caveat that some edges only allow you to take them once per rank. And it'll say so in the description of the edge. You can also buy skills. Okay? To raise what's called a lesser skill, which means I have a D8 in the attribute, I have a D6 in the skill, I want to raise it to an 8. That's raising a lesser skill. Raising a greater skill is I have a D6 in the attribute, I have a D6 in the skill, I want to raise the skill to 8. That's raising a greater skill. Raising a lesser skill costs a half a point. You can do 2 of them in advance. A greater skill, you can do 1. You can also buy a new skill. So if you have nothing in a skill, you can buy a skill.
And that's considered a greater?
That's considered
Buying
a greater.
a new one is
Buying a new one is
considered
considered a greater.
So it'd be a D4, but you're spending 1 point. Got it.
You're still spending
okay,
1
good.
point.
I did that part right.
Because you're essentially going from a D4 minus 2
Right.
to a D4.
There is another thing you can do with an
Blindness
advance.
being annoying.
In all the years I've been playing and running Savage Worlds, I have yet to see anyone do it. That is, you can buy off a hindrance. The
You
only
can
time
also take an edge, right?
What's the fun in that?
Yeah, I said that.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You only do it once per
Yeah.
rank.
well,
I think I saw
the-
it once because it was story appropriate.
the place where I could see it happening would be if you had acquired a hindrance
Ooh, crap.
in gameplay.
Yeah, I can see that.
Okay, let's say for example that you got your leg cut off. Okay, you have just acquired the lame hindrance. Okay,
Or one leg.
or 1 leg. You could actually buy that off, but we have to explain it narratively too.
You got yourself a peg leg.
You got yourself a peg leg, and you've gotten so used to having it that it no longer hinders you.
Okay.
Mrs. McGrath, the sergeant said.
I do kind of like somebody in the chat room brought up rolling navigation into boating.
Well, I think the way that they described the skill of boating is it's basically almost anything regarding sailing practical application.
Okay.
Knowledge navigation would be
Charting a course.
charting a course, or
Okay.
being able to identify your latitude based on the stars.
Right.
things like
But
that.
if you have boating, I will give you a chance to navigate
yeah,
yourself
It's just
by
not
the stars. It's
okay.
just you're not. If you have the navigation skill, you have expertise in it.
right,
Mm-hmm.
that would make sense.
Yeah, you have knowledge navigation. Then you can go to the charts and go. This is the best course to get us to this place. That kind of thing.
Like everybody, I'm having trouble narrowing my skills down to the point where I'm thinking of knocking off swimming because I'm like,
Well,
Athletics.
you can buy
Right.
athletics, and have swimming and climbing both. In that one thing. So if you've got
which is
points
not
in
even.
climbing,
That's probably why.
yeah,
I
it's
have-
not on there. It's a new
I
thing.
have points in climbing.
Yeah. So write down athletics. Put
Yeah.
those points in athletics, and now you have climbing and swimming both.
Can we raise
okay.
a
I'm gonna
skill
cross that
twice
out then.
in one rank?
You bet.
Okay.
Okay.
You made a very social character, right?
Yes.
Okay, I should not do that then. That's getting into your shtick, probably.
Well, what was it?
Well, we can have more
Yeah.
than
It doesn't
one
hurt
social
for
character.
other
Yeah.
people to be able to
Well,
be
I was
chatty.
looking at taking the charismatic social edge.
That's
fine.
not a bad thing.
Yeah.
That's not a bad thing. Because
I
there are
already
going to be
took
times.
attractive though.
That's okay.
No,
There are going to be times
Do
when.
those stack?
Yes, they do.
Charismatic and
Yes.
attractive.
we
Yes, they
should
do.
all be. We should all be beautiful.
Well, I was actually thinking about taking attractive
it's like
for
it's
the
totally
I was
the
benefit.
it's totally the black sails.
I had
like,
originally, before I decided to open it up as a possibility for phobia, taken the ugly hindrance
Okay.
to give myself a negative charisma.
Then we could be the CW show where most of us are super beautiful, but we
And then there's
get
Maud.
a little dirt on our face, and then there's the one regular person.
You get the artful.
Yeah.
You get the artful
Yeah.
smudging.
yeah.
And then there's that one guy who
Along with
has
the-
natural teeth still.
Along with the
Yeah.
perfectly formed, tattoos tattooing around the eyes. That
Yes.
Yeah.
is the
Considering how much my parents paid for my orthodontia, I
That's funny. We have. Did I do this? Sorry, I got
one
sidetracked.
more.
But I believe.
But were there any other edges that particularly spoke to me?
Yeah, we have another NPC.
okay.
Yeah, this is freaking badass.
Right.
Mythigo Mythigo 2 is John Smythe, a Cornish gunner.
Ooh, that's perfect. Because
freaking
so
awesome.
the Cornwall accent is
Yeah.
basically what we think of as pirate. Because the
okay.
first actor to play Long John Silver in a movie was from Cornwall.
That's awesome.
He was from a very isolated village in Cornwall that basically was speaking the same dialect of the Queen's English that they actually spoke in Elizabethan Jacobite times, or at least as close as we can figure. And that's what basic fair accent is based off of.
Oh,
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it's what BFA is based off of. But yeah, it's what we think of as pirate. So if you think of Geoffrey Rush
Yeah.
in Pirates of the Caribbean, that's Cornish, but with a lot of gravel in his throat. So
Cool.
I'll just make sure to eat a bag of potato chips before I come.
no. A fifth of whiskey and a box of cigars.
Don't eat the cigars; they get stuck in your teeth.
I don't like cigars.
I do.
Good on you.
Are we driving separately now?
Somebody asked the lead singer of Crash Test Dummies how he was able to sing so low. His answer was a fifth of whiskey and a third testicle.
Alrighty then. Jay, you're going to send me the information on the NPCs that we've gotten, correct?
Oh, yeah. And I'm also going to, per
That's
request
fine.
from the chat room, I will recap all of them so that they know what's going on with it. And I said
Let's
we would
definitely
add
put those into the
in the forum.
Yeah.
Yeah, because this is such an awesome game to have like some cool personalities on
Oh
the
yeah,
ship.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm gonna go home and sometime in the next 2 weeks watch Master and Commander again because first of all, I love the movie.
It is, yeah. It's an awesome movie.
I'm almost tempted to take to knock down one of my skills here and take a musical instrument skill in a musical instrument
Sweet.
I know, right?
just because,
right.
right?
Yep.
So we're
Especially
going to
a
become
musical
pirates of Penzance.
No, and it's not Pinafore either, but
No, but it's
Don't I
just
got
fun.
them sail again.
It just sounds fun.
Or we could be the pirates who do nothing.
no.
No, we can't do that.
No.
Yeah, maybe.
No,
you know
we really
what?
cannot do that.
Tone.
You don't want to be a cucumber?
I'll do it if you do it.
A musical instrument?
Yeah, I'm
I
gonna
can get behind that.
do something for performance. Yep. So I will figure out what it's gonna be.
It's pirate ship bards.
Yeah. Yeah.
We've been threatening to one of our GMs to make Bard the Bardening.
It's don't kill our character.
And then you guys did
Yeah.
Mission Imbartable.
Mission Imbartable, exactly, right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is why my first...
I was angling in that direction. I did a series of games where all the characters in the game were rogues.
Yeah,
All the characters in the game
Cool.
were wizards.
Yeah.
right.
All the characters. I was headed towards
Yes.
doing an all bards game. Because the fun part for me was making all these characters
Oh, for
that
sure.
fill all the different traditional roles of
And yet are different.
but are all this one class.
Yeah, it was the Mission Imbartable game was really, really cool the way they managed that with the 5th edition. We were all no multi-classing, just straight bards.
Yeah.
There's so
It's
many different
different-
variations
different
and
flavors
flavors
with the
though,
background, yeah.
in 5e. Yeah.
In our 5e
That's
game,
fun.
my first character was a barbarian who, at 3rd level, multi-classed to bard. So he was a barbarian. And instead of learning an instrument, he hearkened back to his half-orc tribal
Yeah?
roots, and his performance style was haka.
I did not know what the
Maori
Maori war
haka.
chants?
Awesome.
Yeah, the war chants, exactly.
I played a game with
As-
all
as a half-orc?
barbarians. That's awesome.
Half-orc barbarian doing the haka.
I
Yeah.
can't figure out how to spend my very last one.
Your very last raid.
Your very last raise.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry
I'm
about
just-
it.
You'll think
I'm
of
not.
it.
I'm not worried about
Yeah.
you guys having your characters done right now. I just want you to have. The main thing I wanted was your hindrances.
Yeah.
Now I would like to have the rest of the characters.
Well, we
like,
can take a picture of
by the weekend or so.
sheet
Yeah.
and then just upload it on the Slack.
That'd be fine.
Okay, cool.
That'd be fine.
'Cause
If
that
you
way
can
we
do it
can
like
kinda
sometime
see
during
each
the
other, too.
weekend, that would be
Okay.
fine. And feel free to discuss.
Yeah, I can totally work on this on Thursday and Friday too.
The main thing I wanted was hindrances because that leads me to.
Oh yeah, that's fodder.
That's food for me to work on.
And then when you want backstory stuff, as soon as possible? or-
This weekend, if you can.
yeah.
That'd be great.
Cool.
And it doesn't have to be a novel, but whatever you send me, I will read.
So a spell check?
Well, yeah, I assume. Edit,
In English?
I'm kidding. You don't have to edit. You can send it to me in Swahili if you want to.
mine-
I'll try to read it, but I don't read Swahili, so.
There's not a spot on here where it particularly wants languages, is there?
No, not on the sheet. I just
Okay.
put it at the bottom of the gear list for myself.
Yeah.
Just because it's a long list that I don't think
and-
I'll fill.
There should be everybody should have access to the resources with the equipment guide and whatnot.
Okay.
By pretty much whatever you feel like. Everybody starts the game universally in.
Yeah, that's a
nice.
good question.
in
500,
Savages,
right?
you start with
Unless you
500
take edges
Okay.
or buy extra money
or
with
buy
your
extra money.
points.
Yeah.
Okay.
The game tends to frame everything in dollars. You can just say in pieces of 8 instead.
Yeah, they actually describe it as pieces of 8, but they use the dollar symbol for convenience.
Just
sake.
because it's monies.
Right.
It's
For sure.
It's in monies.
Yes, right.
So
is
then
really what it-
whatever weaponry or whatever we want to buy.
weaponry you want.
Okay, cool.
Obviously you can't buy something that's out of tone, right?
Okay. Gotcha.
Carpenters Tools. I couldn't find those in the book. Maybe I didn't look hard enough. Or would those be provided by the ship? I mean, we're talking
I would
about
just look.
for shipboard carpentry. We're talking chisels, mallets.
Yeah, but a man's
hammers.
tools are very personal.
Yes, they are.
That is not accurate.
All right.
So I
that's fine.
think we're going to buy them.
Okay.
Take a look and see what.
I'm
But
okay
I'll
with that.
give. But I could also be on board with the idea that you have them, and you don't have to
Cool.
like pay for them. However, they're also probably extremely valuable to you.
And they count as both an edge and a hindrance effectively because
Because of that.
if they go missing, I'm going to be
Right.
pissed.
Yeah, this makes sense. They're saying in the chat room that tool chests were usually personally owned.
Oh, okay. Good to know.
which is what would make sense to me.
Yeah, no, it makes sense. I'm fine with that. That's
The
why we're having the discussion.
Our navigator's not a PC, but same would be true of the sextant and astrolabe. And
Any kind of
Maps, charts.
precision instruments.
the most valuable thing on any ship was their charts.
Oh yeah,
Yep.
very much so.
Far and away the most valuable
And they
thing
were
on the
kept
ship.
very secret.
Yeah.
Compass you can make.
A compass
Sextant you can buy.
Right.
Charts are.
Yeah. Good charts, though, they're worth more than what's in the hold.
That's
Oh,
why
yeah.
you steal them.
Yes.
That's why you take those first.
Yes,
Yeah, exactly.
exactly.
Oh, here we go. I was trying to figure out where the heck the loot list
The English
was.
made the best scientific instruments of the time.
I'm not about that.
So I mean, doesn't matter who you are: Spanish, French, Portuguese, Greek. If you have the money, you're buying English instruments. This is the time of. I mean, you're shortly after Newton.
Yeah, this is the modern period where the British were being extremely intellectual and they were losing faith in religion because it was such a dang mess.
Well, being not Catholic, they could be They could ignore religion to a certain extent. It's if you were Catholic and really close to Rome, you had problems. Although the Catholic Church, when the vacuum was discovered, the Catholic Church was perfectly fine with that. You would think that they would be like, no, a vacuum, a thing where nothing exists. Ha, that's a place for God.
Fair enough.
It's really odd when they
interesting viewpoint.
reverse
It's
their
it's their God
opinions on
space.
certain things.
It's like their hammer space, their God space.
Yes, exactly. It was a portable hole.
Okay.
Do you want to try to wrap it?
Yeah.
Or-
seeing
Yeah.
what
Let's
way.
go ahead.
I
and-
was going to say, cool. Couple things then, quickly. We will list the NPCs, as Kurt was saying, on the forum.
On the forums.
So everybody can see. We've already got, gosh, I'm going to reread them here, but I think it's like 4
Sweet.
or something.
Somewhere there.
NPCs. Also, if you have a recommendation for a ship name, there is a forum post.
Yes, there's a thread already started for that.
Yeah, so please feel free to put it in there, and we'll probably have a ship name by the next.
We will definitely have a ship
by our
name
session 1.
by the start of the next session.
Cool.
Awesome.
There's a long list to go through already.
Yeah, I've heard it's pages already.
Now, I will say that what I would like out of the name that the 4 of you choose, because the 4 of you are choosing the name, not me, I would like for the name to have some kind of meaning for all of you.
Well, sure.
Of course.
Yeah. But I want to see what the
Although if it
what
has
the forum
less
comes
meaning
up
to me
with.
because I'm new to the
Yeah.
crew, I'm fine with that.
It
Yeah.
doesn't have to have personal meaning to your character. I would
It
like
It may
for
be
it to
why I
have
picked the ship, though.
very possible.
Yeah. I feel like if as long as it resonates with us once we see the stuff on the forums, like we'll be able to.
I agree.
Yeah.
I totally
Cool.
agree.
Okay, so I'm going to go through the NPCs really quick though, per request. Also, so we've got Sir Guido playing Guido Garcia Alcantar, ship's
Cook's mate.
Yeah,
Cook's
cook's mate. Sorry, a fat man
Killick's
who
mate.
loves his own food
Killick's mate.
more
Killick's
than
mate.
anything. We also have, let's see here. This one was Arctic Kumarian, who's playing Halsey Rigger Young, an able-bodied seaman preferring to work aloft as a rigger.
Okay.
We also have Soliloquies 4 as Papa Sandoval, a Spanish balador bard bringing cheer and bravery to shipmates in trying times. And we have the Bustin Chops, who is Finn the Sloshed, wise yet troublesome sailor with a near permanent residence in the brig. And I think our last one right now is Mythigo 2, who is John Smythe, a Cornish gunner. So yeah, we have 5 shipmates already, so that's fantastic.
Would instrumental prowess be a knowledge? Like being able to play an instrument, would that be a knowledge? Or would
I just put
Would that be
performance down
Spirit?
as a skill.
would that be performance skill? Or?
I think we're going to add a skill called performance,
Okay.
Okay.
and
Yeah, because
I might come back and come up with a different way to do that. I'm going to check a couple of other places and see how they deal with bards.
Fair enough.
no problem. That's a very piratey
the non-magical bards in any
Oh
case.
yeah,
Right.
of
Yeah.
course. Troubadours.
Troubadours.
Sure.
It may be that we just leave the skill and go with that. And I think it would be.
And then we just say that we do this thing.
See, this is where my game design brain takes over,
Yeah.
and I go, I want to be able to use either agility or smarts or spirit.
Right.
To,
Yeah.
depending on what I'm doing and how I'm doing it. But
Yeah.
Savage Worlds doesn't work that way. So I think we're going to make, because there are all kinds of things that are agility based, and all kinds of things that are smarts based.
Yeah.
Performance is spirit based.
That
that's
makes
sweet.
sense, actually.
That totally makes
I'm
sense.
fine with that.
Okay.
And my experience with Savage Worlds is that you can make up skills.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
They give a list so that you have something to pick from, but
Yep.
it is never an exhaustive list.
Yeah.
Right. Well, okay. The authors of Savage Worlds, who are wonderful people, I'm very fond of them, take a very specific view of things. Rules in Savage Worlds are concerned with one thing and one thing only. What is its impact on the game? What it looks like, what it feels like, what it sounds like, that's your problem.
Right.
Cool.
The rules are about its impact on the game.
Right.
Okay?
They're purely mechanical.
Right.
That's why all the powers have trappings.
Yeah.
Not that we have powers, but yeah.
Right. If we were doing a game with arcane backgrounds, it doesn't do Vancian magic like D&D,
Okay.
where you have this long list of spells. It has powers, and you translate those to spells.
Okay.
Like you might have a
Like a bit more like mage.
bolt power.
You might have
No,
a-
not as
No.
freeform as mage. You might have a bolt power.
It does a set amount of damage.
So like
You
Mutants and
decide.
Masterminds.
But
where
is
it's-
it ice, fire,
Bees.
slime, bees?
Bees.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
It's whatever makes sense.
Bees is, by the way, a listed option.
It is one of the specifically called out options.
I think they make that same option in Mutants and Masterminds as someone who can turn themselves into different things.
Yeah.
And one of them turns themselves into
Swarm of
bees.
bees. Yeah.
A swarm of bees.
Because
bees,
are funny.
Yeah.
That's when Tyler, in one of the Dead Presidents games, had Rutherford B. Hayes, who could control bees.
cool. Alrighty, well, we're going to sign off.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because we've got characters
Yep.
to finish.
Yep.
Well,
Yep.
thank you for joining us for our session 0.
Woo! Session 0!
Yeah, session woo! We play again on
2
Wednesday in 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
October 4th.
October 4th.
Yep. Join us for many other Happy Jacks actual plays and podcasts. So thank you very
Next
much.
thing
Thank you,
from
guys.
this channel will be on Friday, which
Yeah.
will be the podcast.
Yep.
Yep,
Right.
and
Regular
Modes of Sin
round table, I think
this
it's
coming
called.
Sunday.
You can find
Sunday,
our
Sunday.
schedule at happyjacks.org.
Yep, and
Slash
stay
schedule.
as soon as I transition here, we will see a lovely calendar that Miss Kimmy has worked on, so you'll see all the upcoming stuff.
All the stuffs.
All the stuff's ever.
So, thanks for joining us, guys.
you.
We'll see you in 2
Bye.
weeks.
Take care. Bye.